Well, good evening, folks, and welcome inside NYTEX Sports Centre as we get set to kick off playoff hockey here in suburban Fort Worth. With you, as always, Alex Von Keudel on the air with you tonight, hoping to bring you a good kickstart to your weekend here in mid-April. This will be the Wildcats' fourth consecutive trip to the Robertson Cup playoffs, and this time they have returned to a role they are accustomed to. They are big-time underdogs, folks. The Brahmas have beaten the Wildcats in each of their last 8 meetings, outscoring them 31-14 en route. But, as so many of our terrific supporters have pointed out over the last number of weeks, the playoffs are an entirely different animal. There is absolutely no telling what will happen over the next couple weeks. In the first 2 days of the Stanley Cup playoffs, 5 of the 8 NHL teams who won Game 1 were the lower seeds, and also, obviously, the road teams in those games. That's part of what makes this game so special and part of what makes this sport so beautiful to watch. Anything can happen, folks, and if you happen to read the pre-series report posted on our Facebook and Twitter pages earlier, it was made obvious what has to change if the Wildcats are to turn their fortunes around. There are several problems, but really one word has been resonating around the team all week long, a word that transcends across virtually all sports as a fundamental rudiment to success at all levels: defense. The Wildcats have not defended well of late. In that 10-game losing streak to end the season, the Wildcats conceded 46 goals, an average of 4.6 per game, which obviously will not cut it in the postseason. All week, Josh Nelson and Corey Lieberman have set out to mold the Wildcats into a team which plays harder away from the puck and is a more difficult team to defend against and to play against in general. We'll see if a rigorous week's work of training pays off here tonight. There's no doubt about it, folks. The Wildcats will be tested in ways they've not been all season long this weekend. Squaring off against the top team in the South in the playoffs in their building is absolutely a Herculean challenge. With that said, there was no need for motivation or superfluous inspiration. That is already there, folks. I drove with the team down here earlier this afternoon, and let me tell you something. They are absolutely fired up. They've lost 10 straight. They're going up against a team that's beaten them 8 straight times. They don't care. They are ready to give the Brahmas all they can handle tonight and try to come away with 2 points in Game 1 of the South Division semifinals. The 2017 Robertson Cup playoffs and the starting lineups, brought to you by Pelicans, are next. So the Lone Star Brahmas starting lineup being announced very emphatically right now by the public address announcer. This atmosphere is absolutely electric here tonight, folks, as we expected. Starting for the Lone Star Brahmas, centering that line, that third line that's been very good defensively against the Wildcats all season long, with some offensive upside as well. Aiden Spellacy, Austin O'Rourke, and Julian Biondo get the nod to start. Dan Wildfong waiting until after warm-ups to make his decision. As for the starting lineups, as is his custom, Alex Stoley and Simon Loof will start as the rear guards for Dan Wildfong's Lone Star Brahmas. In net, the BU commit, Max Prodzik, gets the nod. Andover, Massachusetts native, has boasted very good numbers against the Wildcats and in general as a goaltender for Lone Star. Prodzik with a 2.14 goals against average, a .908 save percentage for the Brahmas, will start against Wichita Falls here this evening. now a high school hockey team, a local one. The greater Dallas-Fort Worth area is making its way out onto the ice right now. Love to see this. It's a hockey family. They've just won. Unfortunately, I wasn't informed about this pre-game. I'm not sure who they are, but it sounds like they just won a regional championship of some sort, so congratulations to them. The Wildcats starting lineup will be read to you momentarily, but first, we await the singing of our country's national anthem. Stand by. As promised, starting for the Wildcats tonight, no surprise here. Nick Rosa, the Wildcats captain, who has led them to where they are right now to the playoffs since returning from his Sioux City Musketeers team in the USHL, has been a mainstay in the Wildcats lineup and immediately recognized as one of the team leaders, has been so all season long. He will be given the privilege to start the opening shift in the Robertson Cup playoffs for the Wildcats. Flanking him will be Ricky Carballo on his right, Ryan Burnett on his left. On defense, Ryan Orgel and Kareem Del Ponte. Starting as the blue liners for Josh Nelson's Wildcats, Jared Dempsey will be starting in net for tonight. These Wildcats starting lineups are presented by Pelicans. Tonight's referee is Zane Stout. And we are just about ready to rumble here at NYTEX Sports Centre. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. The playoffs of 2017 underway here in North Richland Hills. Stout drops the puck and Rosa wins the opening faceoff cleanly as a very quick hit delivered by Spellacy on Orgel did not throw him off one bit, not in the slightest. Now Orgel battling for it near the red line on the near side boards. Rosa will chip it into Brahmas territory, and the Lone Star captain, John Zimmerman, will chip it off the boards in front of the benches. Rosa picks up the puck after Kareem Del Ponte was laid out in his own zone. Rosa bounces the puck into the left corner. Prozic decides better of it, not touching it. And now it rolls its way around onto the left half boards. The Brahmas try to get it out. They cannot do it. Zimmerman will drop it to Malishko, and the Slovakian-born defenseman will pivot in his own zone, turning away from the forecheck from Ryan Burnett. Burnett's dad is down here. Roger, great to see him all the way from suburban Detroit. A long trip to support Ryan and the Wildcats here as they kick off the 2017 playoffs here at NYTEX Sports Centre. Loft of a pass nearly finds Kamer on a breakaway, broken up nicely by Seamus Donahue, making his first playing in his first game back in over a month, folks. He has not played since March 4th. So Seamus Donahue, a very long-awaited return after missing 12 games. The Wildcats have just iced the puck. If you didn't see it on Facebook and Twitter, folks, we pointed out in the pre-series report the difference that Seamus Donahue has made to the Wildcats this season. It's absolutely ridiculous. With him in the lineup, the Wildcats are 26, 15, and 4, which equates to a 622% point percentage. Without him, they are 3, 9, and 3, which is a 300% point percentage. Obviously, that's it is hockey. It's a very much a team sport. One player is not going to decide who wins or loses games very often. But I think that's a very telling statistic as to what Seamus Donahue brings, not just his skill level, but his presence as a veteran player, a veteran defenseman, and a captain on the Wildcats. Carson Kelly has the puck swatted away by Cyprus, drives wide, curls his way behind the net, centers. It's broken up by Cabinia, and he's laid out. losing the puck in the process. Dropped back to Evano, whose fluttering shot is picked off by Demantis Sipus. Kelly right on him, pursuing him closely. Seamus has got it in his own zone in the left corner. Dekes out York, tries to one-hand it past the pressure from Kelly. No luck, that's Trezera rather, and York will chip it in behind the Wildcats goal line. Bounces over Poikola's glove. Skinner drops it back to Alexi in his own zone. Alexi goes back to his fellow veteran Dom Sipus, returning it to Alexi behind his own net. Alexi Poikola up to Seamus Donahue, his fellow future Husky with the Michigan Tech. Blake Ripley chasing it down in the right corner in the Brahma zone. Under some pressure, we'll just roll it in behind the Lone Star net. Luke puts up the body on Stephen Tilley, who can't move. Walker steals it, looking to the front, backhand shot from the side of the net. Project making his first stop. And Adama will try to wheel the puck out of the zone, can't do it. Held in by Ripley, given to Walker right circle, whose shot is batted away by Simon Loof, who blocked it point blank. Waring able to slide one around the end boards. Ripley will be first to it over there in the left corner. Chips one towards the side of the Brahmas net, picked off before it got to Walker, taken by Simon Loof, the Merrimack commit, Swedish-born defenseman, able to send one up ice. And here comes Biondo trying to slip through. Chips it past one and Waring, but not the second. And Wyatt Matthews did a great job reading that play and recovering. And Malishko will take it in his own zone. The Brahmas reset while the Cats complete a three-man line change. Meanwhile, it's Spellacy gaining the blue line on the left side of the ice, dropping it for Drake Glover. We get a whistle stopping play as Zane Stout has his arms out. 3 minutes into this scoreless hockey game here at NYTEX Sports Centre, the Wildcats with a lone shot on goal. It was CJ Walker from the side of the net, forcing Project to make a low left pad save on the future Minnesota State University Maverick. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. I think there was a save made by Dempsey that went unrecorded. But for those of you tuning in to this playoff broadcast, we're so happy to have you on board. If you can't tell, we're sure excited that the playoffs are back in Wichita Falls for the fourth consecutive season. Regardless of the way the season finished, nobody cares. Everyone's excited for the playoffs. That's part of the magic and the beauty of this sport. But the Wildcats were assessed a penalty on that last play. Blake Ripley. Too many men on the ice penalty called against the Wildcats, so maybe a little bit too excited for the playoffs. Got some eager Beavers on the bench over there who can't wait to hit the ice. One did it a second too earlier, so the Wildcats will be forced to kill off an early Lone Star power play with Ripley in the box. Glover with a floating shot, missing wide glove side of Dempsey. The follow-up shot off the carom, taken by Austin Kamer, stopped by Dempsey, who had to move laterally over to his left to hug the left side post. Dempsey tested by Kamer, and he made the stop. For those of you tuning in, send us a tweet. We'd love to give you a shout-out at any point throughout this broadcast. Don't be shy. Let us know you're tuning in and supporting the Wildcats in Game 1 of the South Division semifinals against the Lone Star Brahmas. And we got some folks who made the trip down here from Wichita Falls to support the Wildcats as they play on the road. Great to see that. Long shot tipped by Kelly, stopped by Dempsey with the pads. He slammed them shut. Nice stop by Jared Dempsey, future Army Black Knight. So Carson Kelly lines up. The Brahmas about a quarter of the way through their power play. Puck is lost by Sipus, and Dempsey's got to just hang on to it on his left. Sipus took it to a dangerous spot there, and he couldn't turn the corner. The Brahmas' pressure was too strong. Hunter Stanley was right there, didn't let him turn the edge there. Face-off will be between Alexi Poikola and Carson Kelly. Won by the latter. Stanley chips it back to Loof. Down the right boards, will shoot. Stick save by Dempsey. Puck pops in behind the net. It's battled for. Now taken by Alexi Poikola, who's shoved down from behind by the Brahmas. Loof at the left point, over to Evano right point. Decides to pass it back to Loof, who one times it on net. Dempsey makes the save. No rebound. Dempsey with a huge stop. That's his fourth of this game already. And the Brahmas power play is not even halfway through yet. Minute 10 to go on it. Both teams will complete line changes as that whistle gives both teams the opportunity to do that. Face-off will be to Dempsey's left, as it has been the last several times here. Nick Rosa taking Alexis Poikola's place. And the Brahmas send out their big guns, their top line here, top scoring line at least all season long, Kessel, Kamer, and Glover. Last time these teams met, Kamer was injured, or suspended rather, so they were not all united. Burnett flying down the right wing side, shot the puck wide left side. That was a close call for Ryan Burnett, who leads the Wildcats, or led them over the course of the season in shorthanded goals with 3. Malishko drops it back to John Zimmerman. In the Brahmas zone with 48 seconds remaining on their power play. This Wildcats penalty kill is presented by Parkway Grill. Drake Glover circles back in the neutral zone and drops it over to his captain, John Zimmerman. Another Army commit. Now to Malishko. Kamer, left side, enters the zone, defended by Waring. Kamer will turn, give it up to Kessel at the left point. Over to the right point for John Zimmerman. Back to the blue line again. Malishko, long wrist shot. Didn't get all the way through, fluttered off the backboards, ultimately carrying off, and the Wildcats did well to clear that puck down. Excellent play there by Wyatt Matthews, who's had a very good start to this game so far. He's made 2 extremely strong defensive plays. Wyatt Matthews. Julian Biondo banks it past Del Ponte. Time winding down on the Lone Star power play. Orgel has his stick check as the puck bounces off the chest of Spelisi, who wheels to the outside with it, swings it up to the top. Evano slap pass, Zielinski left side, puts it down towards the goal line. It's Biondo, defended by Kareem Del Ponte every step of the way. Ripley's back on the ice. Cabina didn't know he was there, so he sent it the wrong direction behind his own net. And the Brahmas, as a result, keep it in the zone. Cabini over there on that other side, pinned up by Spelisi now. To the boards. Biondo emerges with possession, flutters one high in the air. Ripley takes a swat at it, doesn't clear the zone, stays in the Wildcats' end. They've had trouble clearing the zone here so far. Poikala run into by Spelisi. Zielinski with a keep at the left point. Again wheels it deep and behind the Wildcats' net. It's Orgel. Fends off a check beautifully from David Marabella. Starts it out himself, and finally the Wildcats' alternate captain, Ryan Orgel, manages to clear the zone. Oh, look out, that puck hit a fan right square in the head. Orgel tried to clear it into the Lone Star zone. It went off a Brahma's stick, fluttered in the air over the glass, and clocked someone right upside the noggin. Hope she's all right. That's happened to me a few times, folks. Tell you what, that doesn't feel too good. To Brad Hanawal and the Hanawal family, thanks so much for tuning in, supporting Matt Hanawal and the Wildcats in their first game of the South Division semifinals and the first game of the playoffs. And to Glenn Walker and the Walkers, as always, are watching. Thanks so much to the Hanawals and Walkers for enjoying some Wildcats playoff hockey on your Friday night. Hope you're all having a great one. To the Hanawals out in suburban Chicago and to the Walkers out in Boise, Idaho. After that puck caromed into the Wildcats bench, they will redo a face-off here. Megan's one of the linesmen dropping the puck. Carson Kelly has been an ace on the dot all season for Dan Wildfong and has been so tonight as well. The Wildcats still with just 1 shot on goal through the first 6 minutes. Donahue chips it up to Tilley, who clears the zone to the Brahmas zone. Now behind their net, Prozic watches as Luke picks it up for Lone Star. And the quick, smooth skating defenseman can't clear it on the first effort. This time he will roll it around to Stoley. Donahue steps up, the puck stays in play as Tilley wheels it on net, and it was gloved, or blocked rather, aside by Prozic. With the Wildcats in the midst of a change, this should be an easy clear for Loof, and it is. Splits the ice with a good pass. Kelly is onside. Stanley goes to the goal, and Kelly will reverse one behind it. Heiser is back picking it up. The Wildcats have 7 defensemen dressed for tonight's game. With Kevin Fees serving the final game of his 3-game suspension. Here comes Carballo. He's got a breakaway right down the slot. Carballo shoots, stopped by Prozic. Biggest save of the game for either goaltender. Max Prozic stood tall against one of the Wildcats' top scorers this season in Ricky Carballo. Regula, left corner, shovels it low behind the net again. It's Carballo there. Carballo up to the right point. Good pass. Heiser a shot. Glove save by Prozic. Nice little surge there by the Wildcats. Carballo getting a partial breakaway. The Brahmas got caught a little bit flat-footed. Carballo's got some blazing wheels that he uses to catch defenders off guard all the time. We saw it so many times this season. Big part of the reason he had such an offensive outburst over the course of the year. Nearly had 50 points, Ricky Carballo. Had 20 goals, which is a milestone for any player at this level. Also 26 assists, so a very solid season for Ricky Carballo. Put up some pretty good numbers for the Wildcats. So Heiser's going to have to gun down this fluttering puck in his own zone. 12:50 to go in period 1. We're still scoreless with 3 shots apiece. Kelly steals the puck from Heiser and centers. Broken up by Matt Hanawal. Nice defensive stick. Leads one ahead, hoping to find Carballo, trying to split the D. And Jack Zielinski knocked it away from Carballo. Touch pass intercepted, read well by Ryan Burnett, who will turn on the Jets with his teammates changing and across the blue line, trying to scoot his way past Zielinski. Finished him off with an extra shove. Puck flutters past the blue line and out to center. Waring is there to pick it up for Wichita Falls. Waring swings it to Burnett, who swings it into the Brahmas zone. Over the stick of Prodzik, Cabinha will be first to it. Kelly meets him in the corner. Rosa swings it back to the top. Orgel had it pop off his stick. It was a bit too hot to handle. Now it's picked up by Trezera on the left wing side near the red line. Burnett trying to jab it away from him. Waring in the midst as well. Trezera was surrounded by 3 Wildcats. Waring got a stick up high on Trezera. Got away with one there. Orgel with a nice pass through the middle. Rosa drops it to Cabinha on the left wing side. Evano pins him up to the boards. And Adamo picks it up in the corner. Behind his own net. Up towards David Marabel, and the Lone Star veteran will swing his way behind his own net and wait for things to develop as he spins it back behind the goal. Zielinski is over there in the far corner. Now to Evano. Sports the number 58 because of Chris Letang of the Pittsburgh Penguins, who unfortunately will not be playing in the postseason. He requires surgery. Does the Penguins defenseman, who's been one of the better offensive defensemen in the NHL for the last number of seasons, Chris Letang. Evano tries to model his game after him. Honestly, have a pretty similar way of playing the game from the blue line, the two of them. Austin O'Rourke doing a good job directing traffic while his teammates changed. Cyphus with a good pass for Skinner across the blue line, whose shot blocked by Alex Stoley. Walker swats it down to Rosa, who spins one into the middle, and it's broken up by the Lone Star Brahmas. There were 5 white sweaters all between the hash marks there. Cyphus doubling back. Stoley enters the zone onside on the right wing. He's got O'Rourke. He shoots, stopped by Dempsey. O'Rourke shoots, turned it wide of the net. Cats catch a break there. Loof gloves it down to the ice, left circle. Walker takes a hack at it. Skinner goes down. No penalty, should have been called, but it wasn't. And Loof will drop it back to Stoley. Loof now in his own zone. There's a loose helmet down there in the Brahmas end. Simon Loof slips one past Kamer and down the ice. Cyphus has got to cover a lot of ground. He's got Kessel and Kamer surrounding him. It's wheeled around to the left point. Malisko holds it in the zone. Banked one wide of the net intentionally. Karam's off the corner boards. Donahue had to escape his reach after the pass from Cyphus in behind his own net. The Wildcats co-captain will give it back to Cyphus now on the other side. Cyphus with a long saucer pass, missed Carballo, and the puck bounced off the boards and down. The Brahmas wanted icing, but none forthcoming. We're about halfway through this first period. 10:08 to go in it, still scoreless. Shots favoring Lone Star 4-3. Burnett's pass off of Poikola's skate. Burnett will give a better pass this time over to Wyatt Matthews. Matthews gives it up to Carballo off his skate. Lots of passes off of skates. The Wildcats just failing to connect on a few of these neutral zone passes. And hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them a little bit later down the stretch. If your passes aren't crisp in the opening 10 minutes, they're certainly not going to be that way in the last 10 minutes of the game. Malisko for Kelly. He's onside on the left wing, left circle. His shot blocked by Del Ponte and out of play. Carson Kelly with the game-winning overtime goal against the Wildcats about a month ago when these teams last met in that 2-game series here in Brahmaland. That was a heartbreaker for the Wildcats. Nick Rosa with a pair of goals. Rosa, by the way, leads all Wildcats in points against the Brahmas this season with 7. Rosa had a tremendous performance, Nick Rosa, on that Friday night against the Brahmas to not only score a power play goal early in the game, but also one at the very end with just a minute and 11 seconds to go to tie it, force overtime, and then Carson Kelly on a partial breakaway off a bad Wildcats line change on that 3-on-3. Fired a beautifully placed backhand shot upstairs on Jared Dempsey over his glove. It's not easy to beat a goaltender like Dempsey cleanly from a backhand at glove side, I'll tell you that much. Kelly with a beautiful shot. Has been one of the troopers for Dan Wildfong this season. That's an understatement. He's a veteran. He knows what's expected of him. Had a 43-point season, a 50-point season. The only Brahma to reach 50 points this year. .9:33 to go. We've just concluded our first period media timeout. We're scoreless here in Brahmaland with shots favoring Lone Star 4-3. The faceoff will take place to Jared Dempsey's right in the left circle in the Wildcat zone. York off the draw, had his shot blocked by Walker. Puck pried off of York's stick back out to center. Evano will slam one into the Wildcat zone. Around past Dempsey, couldn't quite reach it quickly enough. Now it's Del Ponte under some pressure from York. Manages to work it up towards Ripley. Now it's Tilley trying to clear. Met by Stanley at the blue line. Finally, the Wildcats barely squeak it out of their own zone, and the Brahmas, just like that, are right back in it. Zielinski chips one off the left corner glass. Del Ponte on the other side, backhands one up to the right point. Kamer swats it back down. Del Ponte again. Quick pass right up the middle for Blake Ripley. On his off wing, has to turn away from Glover. Wyatt Matthews. Del Ponte. Tilly. Puck was rolling, couldn't get it to settle down. The Wildcats complete a forward line change, and the Brahmas look to catch him in the midst of it as Evano gains the red line. Can't get it past Isaac Cabinha. Nice defensive play by the Wilmer, Minnesota native. Now to Regula, slips past a check from Glover, but Hanawal picked up the puck after Regula had crossed the line prematurely. Offside is called against the Wildcats with 8:39 to go in period one. We've got Lori Matthews and the Matthews parents, Wyatt's parents, tuning in from Missoula, Montana, Wyatt's hometown. Thank you so much to Lori and the Matthews families for supporting the Wildcats as they begin their journey for the Robertson Cup here in Fort Worth. Loof airmails one right near the Wildcats bench. Adama will pick it up, and the 6'5" Frenchman drops it to the trailer. It's Loof. Stoley rather long shot through traffic, tipped on net by Frank Trezera, stopped by Jared Dempsey, who looks as solid as one could hope in the early going here tonight. Jared Dempsey on the season. Rock solid numbers for the Wildcats. Goals against average looks a little bit inflated because of how many goals the Wildcats have allowed of late. Has not been ideal. Save percentage, however, a different story. A 9-11, so I guess that's an unfortunate number for save percentage, but nevertheless, that's respectable, regardless of what bad omens may or may not be associated with that statistic. Carballo with a good pass for Seamus Donahue, who leads the rush and fires a wrist shot. Bouncing puck on net. Project makes the stop. Donahue gets taken down, and the Wildcats get right in there to protect him. Gotta love that. Seamus Donahue has just missed 12 games. There's a good chance he's not at 100% tonight. The Wildcats players realizing that, and they're sticking up for their captain right now after he was just sucker punched down to the ice after taking a shot on goal. Maybe one of the Brahmas players thought he gave Project a snow shower or something of that nature. Or maybe they were just trying to protect their goaltender, whatever the case may be. Love that by Carballo, by Burnett, by Rosa, by Sipus, everybody who stepped in to protect Seamus there. That's the kind of attitude you've got to have in the postseason. Whether or not you get a penalty from it. And the Wildcats will. Seamus will go to the box. And I'm guessing this will be 2-minute offsetting roughing penalties against both Seamus Donahue and whichever Brahma was penalized after that little scuffle. 8:13 to go in the opening period, and we're scoreless here at NYTEX. As always, the Cabinhas tuned in. From Wilmer, Minnesota to Tammy and the Cabinha family. Thanks for all the support you've given the Wildcats all season long. We really sincerely appreciate it. We hope you're having a great Friday night. Isaac had one heck of a game the last time these teams met about a month ago. The Kona Ice third star of that game despite a 4-1 Wildcats defeat. Cabinha had the lone goal in that game. Del Ponte swats the puck down at center ice. Stanley gives it across to Kelly. He'll put it to Stanley, who tipped it onto York. Over across to Kelly, who's in too deep to get any kind of shot away. York now in the left corner with a little bit of room. Orgel picks him up, takes the man, loses the puck, does York. Burnett swings it back behind his net. York finishes him off with a good, heavy, clean check into the boards. Stanley on the left side, dekes his way into the circle, tries to center for York. Broken up by Wildcat skate. Zerman long shot, just off target. Missed the blocker side of Jared Dempsey. Del Ponte's got O'Rourke right on top of him, rather Stanley, who finished him off. Wildcats turn it over in their own zone. Backhand shot from the blue line, bodied away by Ryan Orgel, who will start the zone exit here for the Wildcats. 7:12 to go in this scoreless game here at NYTEX. In the opening period, Loof pressured by Cabinha. It's Jakob Malishko. Good stick check by Cabinha. Knocked the puck into the corner. Malishko had trouble clearing it. Skinner battling hard in the far corner. Loof and Malishko, both defensemen taking him. And Skinner failed to get away from the two Europeans. Skinner gets the pass from Cabinha, turns and wires one wide of the short side post, and the puck rattles its way all the way back down to the Wildcat zone. Kessel turns on the Jets to try to beat out Wyatt Matthews. Great job again done by Wyatt Matthews. Two Brahmas right in his face, and two bruising ones at that. And Kessel and Kamer, both big dogs for the Lone Star Brahmas. Another tremendous zone exit by Wyatt Matthews, who's got to go after that puck. He falls down. Adamo knocked him to the ice, and his backhand shot was a heavy one. Blocker to the side by Dempsey beautifully. Rebound control put on full display there by Jared Dempsey. Now it's Adamo working for it behind the Wildcats net. It's taken by Alexei Poikala. The Finnish phenom skies one down into the left corner in the Brahma zone. This should not go far enough for icing. It does not. The Cats are allowed to change everyone except for Skinner, taking advantage of that. Adamo gets it. Through center across the blue line, right circle, will swing a shot towards the net, blocked by Jonathan Waring and out of play. 6 minutes to go in period one. A low shooting, low scoring game here as we expected, but one that has had no shortage of exciting chances. Essentially an embodiment of all season long between these two teams. Relatively low scoring, good strong defending and goaltending. Everyone's been very responsible so far. No glaring mistakes in the first 14 minutes of game one of the South Division semis. Just to further reinforce the parity and the unpredictability of playoffs in hockey, folks, we'll get to it in a minute. Zielinski left circle. The wrist shot gets blocked by Stephen Tilley. The puck's picked up by Walker and the Cats clear the zone. Of the 8 NHL teams who played game one of the Stanley Cup playoff, or the 16 teams rather, the 8 games that took place between Wednesday night and last night, 5 of those 8 games resulted in the lower seed winning, which means the road team won 5 of those 8 games. Name one other sport where that happens. Doesn't exist. Here's a chance in front of the net. Spellacy, while falling, missed short side. Didn't get much on that shot ultimately. Biondo finishes off the other number 20, Blake Ripley. Zimmerman blasts it back into the zone, blocked by his own man and Spellacy, or perhaps the Wildcats who were in the midst of that line change when Spellacy tried to drive it back into the Wildcat zone. Nevertheless, Sipus has it with time behind his own net. O'Rourke reluctant to start the forecheck. Sipus gave it away to York. Now on the near side, York waits, centers, broken up by Hannawall, deflects on net. Dempsey sprawling over to his left, makes the save. Not a good play by Demantis Sipus in his own zone. Brahmas nearly capitalizing off of a Wildcats turnover. That's another thing they've got to look out for. Something that's costed them a few times in recent games, folks. 5 minutes to go in the opening period. We're scoreless here at NYTEX. Carson Kelly, who's won every faceoff so far, wins another one. York on the right side, pressured by Hannawall and Orgel. Stanley loses his balance. Kelly picks up the puck, tries to follow up for the Brahmas. He loses an edge as well. Orgel gets it to CJ Regula, who can't clear it past Carson Kelly. Kelly to York, right circle. Wheels to the outside and fires. And Dempsey lost his stick after making that blocker save. Orgel, being the nice young man that he is, gives it back to his goaltender. And the Wildcats will be guilty of icing the puck here. The faceoff's going to be to Dempsey's right side. Some more family tuned in. Bill Ripley and the Ripleys, including Blake's sister Bailey, enjoying some playoff hockey from Wisconsin. Thanks so much to the Ripley family for supporting the Wildcats and Blake Ripley here in game one of the South Division semis. Kamer puts it down towards the corner. Pass intended for Glover as he works for it. Emerges victorious in that puck battle. Carballo will chip it past Loof. He could get a 2-on-1, but he overskated the puck at center. Loof will chip it back into the Wildcat zone. Orgel looking to get a zone exit. Remember, folks, the Cats had just iced the puck. They need to make a line change, and they scramble to do it now, fire wagon style. Try to get as many bodies as possible onto the ice as Kessel enters the zone and risks a shot. Glove saved by Dempsey. What a stop. Pete Kessel is an absolute sniper. He hit the post at least twice last time these teams met that I can remember very vividly. Pete Kessel, probably the best pure goal scorer the Brahmas have, had 27 goals this season. The Wildcats' top goal scorer this season, Ryan Burnett, with 23. Pete Kessel, a Lone Star veteran, Detroit native, committed to Holy Cross, be a Division I player next season. And the Brahmas nearly just had 8 players on the ice. Some confusion with their 2 forward lines, it looks like. Biondo's line going off. Adamo's line is out there with Marabella and Trezera. Marabella winning the faceoff. Molisco from the blue line. Sets up Adamo in the left circle with a shot. Knocked out of there by Jared Dempsey, who was going wide anyways. Dempsey decided to put his blocker on it. Perhaps see if he can get a save from that. Waring, outlet pass. Rosa catches up to it, tries to chip it to himself. Zimmerman read it like a book, but Rosa recovered and slides it into Brahmas territory. Prozic over to Zimmerman, up to Adamo. Gets past Wyatt Matthews, look out here. Down the left wing side, it's brought backhand shot from Marabella, fought off by Jared Dempsey. Not sure if he got with his left pad or his glove, couldn't quite tell. Rosa, in the meantime, from the left circle in the Brahma zone. His shot fought off by Prozic. Rebound sent behind the net. Rosa with 7 points this season against the Brahmas, leading all Wildcats in that department. John Zimmerman, the Lone Star captain, flutters one off the glass. Sipus intercepting, now to Walker. Enters the zone with a weak wrister, easily sticked aside there by Prozic. Skinner jostling for it in the left corner. Now it's Poikala and Walker in a battle for possession. Trezera holding on to Walker for dear life, not letting the dangerous forward escape his reach. Zimmerman takes Poikala, who's nowhere near the puck. That should be a penalty. Poikala retaliates with a couple of cross checks, and Zane Stout finally blows the whistle. And before things escalate between Poikala and Zimmerman, a couple of veterans, the linesmen interrupt things between the two number 21s. 2:41 to go in period one, still scoreless with the Brahmas doubling the Cats in shots on net, 10-5. To the Warings, tuning in from Farmington Hills, Michigan, Jonathan Waring's hometown. They say, go Wildcats. Thank you very much to the Waring family, to Jim, Lori, and the rest of you for supporting Jonathan Waring and the Wildcats in game one of the playoffs. Right off that face-off, the Brahmas take it out down the left side. It's York, who is crunched up by Sipus with a good body check. Carballo up to Ripley, left wing side in front of his own bench. Good little turnaround pass to Spring Tilly on his way. Tilly's clearing attempt, a backhand one, went off of a skate, and Tilly is finished off by Troy York. Behind the Brahmas net it goes. Evano not giving any kind of room to either Tilly or Walker down there, though Tilly emerges with possession of the puck. Over to Sipus on the right side. Squirts right to Carballo, right point. Tries to let a wrist shot go through about 12 bodies. That one didn't work out. Donahue recovers in his own zone. DDD pass. Sipus returns it for him. Tilly got a piece of Stanley on the way through. Donahue slips past Glover, then York, then shoots, but he fanned on it. Second shot stopped by Prozic. It was right on. Donahue gets it back left circle, walks in. He fires, stopped. Rebound, Tilly's shot stopped by Prozic, and he is down with the puck. Welcome back, Seamus Donahue. Boy, did we miss you. Part of the reason the Wildcats have given up so many goals of late, folks, 4.6 per game to be exact over the last 10, encompassing that losing streak, was because of defensive zone turnovers. They were struggling getting the puck out of their own zone. They were struggling on man-to-man coverage, picking up players in all facets of the game, really, all over the ice, particularly the defensive zone. Seamus Donahue, a veteran of junior hockey, played in the BCHL last season for the Penticton V's, a well-established program up in the British Columbia Hockey League. And not only that, but his breakout ability, his offensive potential, able to slip past checks like he's a forward. He's got the hands of a forward, the awareness of a defenseman. He really is the complete package. Michigan Tech will be getting a great player. Glover trying to send it there for Zimmerman, who joined in the rush. His eyes must have lit up there. Regula chips it past Pete Castle, gets held up by him, and Zimmerman was bought enough time by Castle to recover. Molisco punished there by Ryan Burnett. Regula twisting and turning, top of the right circle, lets a wrist shot go. It gets blocked by Mays of Brahmas in front of Prozic. Not letting shots get through. Heiser with a good whack of the puck in the midsection area. Heiser wheels back, gives it to Orgel now on the right side from the red line. Will chip it in. Karam's off the boards. Prozic with it on his big goal stick. Leaves it for Jakob Molisco. John Zimmerman over to Biondo. Rosa checks his stick. Ripley gets it on the left side near the corner. Fires from a difficult angle. Prozic made the stop. To the Hanays, the Feeses, the McGowans, all supporting the Wildcats from home. Thank you so much. Looks like we've got a great audience out there, folks. Will and Lori Hanay, the Fees family, Kathy and the McGowans, thank you very much for for all the support that you've given the Wildcats this season. Rosa with a clean face-off win. Waring will take a wrist shot that gets blocked. Doesn't happen too often. Del Ponte rolls one in behind the Lone Star net. Rosa finishes his check on Jack Zielinski. Waring will keep this puck alive at the right point. Flutter one wide of the net. 16 seconds to go in the opening period. Skinner laying up the body on Alex Stoley down there. There are 5 players in a battle for possession. It comes to Rosa on the left half boards. Back to Del Ponte, left point, long wrist shot through a screen. Blocked again by the Brahmas. 3 seconds left. Waring with a wrist shot, stopped by Project. Rebound, Waring again, and he misfired. Boy, he had an empty short side of the net. Time might have expired before that shot would have gone in had Waring put it on net. It was going on net, but it got blocked. I'm not sure Waring even saw. There were so many bodies in his face he probably couldn't have seen, but boy, Prozik had no clue where that puck was. As a result, the entire right side, his glove side, Prozik's glove side of the net was wide open, and I just don't think Waring saw it. There was too much traffic in front of him. So a good little surge at the end there. The Wildcats with 4 unanswered shots on goal. Really sticking with the Brahmas, folks. This is an evenly played hockey game. Shots are 10-9 in favor of Lone Star after the opening period. And boy, oh boy, this is the hardest working first period I've seen it put out from the Wildcats in a good long while. Absolutely, they're, you can tell, they've got a whole new aura around them right now. I'll tell you what, on the way down here, things were as positive as you could possibly hope for. The Wildcats want to be here. They want to play. They are not ready to pack it in just yet. They know they are the underdogs, and they have used that as inspiration and motivation. Nothing really needed to be said by Josh Nelson. Certainly not in that department. Maybe from an X's and O's standpoint as a hockey coach, obviously. But as far as motivation is concerned, believe me, nothing needed to be said. And that much has been evident. We expected a low-scoring tilt here in Game 1. We have gotten that so far. No score through the first period here in Brahmaland. 10-9 your shots in favor of the Lone Star Brahmas. Just one penalty. It was called against the Wildcats. Blake Ripley served it bench minor. Too many men on the ice. The Brahmas went 0 for 1 on that power play. And we enter the first intermission scoreless here at NYTEX Sports Centre. Because it's the playoffs, folks, unfortunately got a little bit more work to do than normal, so won't be able to bring you any sort of intermission report in all likelihood. If I've got a little bit of spare time, I will by all means, but most likely we'll have to step aside for the next 18 minutes or so while we await second period puck drop and more. So thanks for joining us, folks. We're really happy to have you with us. It's definitely got a great audience out there. We can see that much on Twitter. Really good first period of hockey here at NYTEX Sports Centre. Hope to have you with us for the rest of this one. You're going to want to stick with it right to the end, folks. I'll tell you this much. In all likelihood, this will be a low-scoring game that will not be decided until the final minute. So stick with us. We'll be back before you know it to bring you second period hockey and more from the NYTEX Sports Centre. Game 1, we're scoreless through the opening period.
In the middle, they get one egg at a time, bring it back to their station. The team that gets all their colored eggs first wins a pizza. You guys got this? One person on the tray, 2 people push it. And you guys cheer the whole time. You guys ready in the stands? You guys ready out here? On your mark, get set, go! And be hungry. Hey, you left your basket, guys. You gotta go back and get your basket. Go get your basket. Where's your basket? You gotta go get your basket. If you don't get the egg with your basket, it doesn't count. Hey guys, if you don't get the egg with your basket, it doesn't count. You have to pick it up with your basket. Anybody who got eggs without a basket has to put it back. One at a time, guys. One egg at a time. Neil is stealing your eggs back because you're cheating. All right, the pink team has 3. The blue team has 2. Purple has 2. Orange has 2. Can't tell, yellow's keeping theirs in their basket. Pink has 4. Pink's getting close, but yellow wins! Yellow is the winner! Yellow wins the pizza! Give them a big round of applause. They're getting ready for Easter. They're eating pizza and candy. Tomorrow night, bring all the kids out. We'll have an Easter egg hunt. We'll have a whole bunch of these things out here with candy in them. Just what you want is kids eating candy at a hockey game. Perfect. Good job, Pink. You guys did pretty good. All right, everybody pick up the eggs. Get off the ice. And then we'll get the Zamboni out here. We'll get another period going. And if you weren't cheering, you know there might be a snowball in your future. Good thing you don't play baseball. That was a good deflection.
All right, well, as you could probably tell from the noise, we are just about back and ready to rumble for period number 2. The Cats had 4 unanswered shots at the end there. They really had a flurry of chances. Max Prodzic looking sharp as ever, to be expected for both goaltenders. All 4 goaltenders, Division I commits, they're all going places. They're all strong, sturdy, reliable, dependable. Jared Dempsey, Max Prodzic, 2 of the best in a very strong South Division, which is saying something, especially for goaltenders. They have been perfect so far. Dempsey, 10 of 10. Prodzic, 9 of 9. We're scoreless through the first 20 minutes. Will it remain that way through the middle 20 minutes? We'll see. The players are just about ready to start period number 2. The Wildcats had that momentum ending that first period. There's no question about it. I'd say the first few minutes, the Cats looked good, had the better of play. The middle stages of the first period, the edge went to the Brahmas towards the end. The edge went to the Wildcats. Who knows what happens in period 2? Who knows what's in store for us? Guess we'll find out. Carvalho gives a nice cross-ice pass to Burnett, who's got Rosa breaking towards the net. But Burnett decided to fire, and it was knocked away by Prodzic's blocker. Then he turns it on goal from the corner. Prodzic, with his paddle down, made the routine stop. We're now level in shots, 10-10. That shot actually counted. Burnett's first one did. So the Cats now have the edge in shots against the Lone Star Brahmas for the first time since the first few minutes of this game. Cats have not defeated this team since November 23rd. But as was just evidenced in that opening period, playoffs are a whole new ball game, and the Wildcats proved it. And a week's worth of working on playing away from the puck looks to have paid off. Very solid performance, particularly on the defensive side of the puck. Limited chances by the Wildcats. Del Ponte's got to go to the box. He was cross-checking Hunter Stanley there. And Kareem Del Ponte pleading that his stick was being held onto by Stanley, but it's not going to matter. He's going to have a seat. The Brahmas fans cheering him to the box right now, and the Wildcats back to the penalty kill, which is 1-for-1 on the night, but do not want to give a Brahmas power play unit that's been lethal all season too many opportunities, especially in the playoffs. And that call had to be made by Zane Stout on Kareem, so the Cats back to the PK. 2-minute cross-checking minor against Kareem within the first 45 seconds. And Lone Star wins the offensive zone faceoff. Zimmerman walking the blue line. Dishes it to Jaco Malishko. Will fire one towards the side of the net. Glover was there, ready to deflect it in, but it was between his skates and his stick. Here's Kamer, point-blank chance. Backdoor a shot from Glover, off target. Nice play there by Kamer, deciding to make that extra pass in front. Glover turns it. Dempsey with a big pad save. Sliding over to his right. Had to be careful not to open up that 5-hole too much. Stayed out of that. Zimmerman mishandled the puck, and the Cats catch a break, and the Brahmas captain doesn't make mistakes like that too often. Malishko with a pump fake one way, goes the other. Glover tries to chip it deep into Wildcats territory, broken up, and Malishko will drop it back to Zimmerman again. 40 seconds of this Brahmas power play have been killed off. Zimmerman down the right side of the ice from the circle. Weaves his way wide on Demantis Sipus, and the 6'5" Lithuanian finishes him off. Here's a one-time drive by Malishko, kicked away by Dempsey's left leg. Nice stop. Dempsey looking sharp as ever. Poikula slaps it on net from center ice. Easily stopped by Max Prodzik. And the Boston University commit leaves it for John Zimmerman. Up the middle with a 100-foot pass. Carson Kelly splits it to York, right side. Stops, waits for his teammates to complete a line change, and Troy York spins away from Ryan Burnett. York up to Evano. Can he hold the zone? Yes, he does. Beautiful poke check by Blake Evano, but it goes right over to Waring, who clears it just past his own blue line. No further than that. Evano up to York on the right side, enters the zone. Rolls it around the end boards, over to the far side. Loof couldn't get to it before Rosa could, and the Wildcats co-captain chops it down the length of the ice. This Wildcats penalty kill brought to you by Parkway Grill. 3/4 of the way through. Just half a minute remains on this Lone Star power play. Kelly for Loof on the tape. Offensive-minded defenseman tries to split past York, or rather Burnett and Rosa. Nothing doing there, and the former of them has cleared it down. A dozen seconds to go on the Brahmas power play. Evano gets it from Prodzik behind his own goal. Leads it over onto the left side for Carson Kelly, the Lone Star veteran and leading scorer. Swings past Poikula. Can't go any further than that, and the Wildcats have done it. Kareem Del Ponte let out of the box. Cabini makes a break for it, but Del Ponte couldn't feed him the pass. Cats right now have 3 defensemen on the ice. Cabini is going to try to remedy that. He goes to the bench. Orgel one times it wide left side, stick side of Max Prodzik. Loof will pick it up in his own zone behind his net. Wheels it out to Austin Kamer. Poikula's right on top of him. Zimmerman collects it now. John Zimmerman. And it'll be a future teammate of Jared Dempsey with the West Point Army Black Knights. Heiser doubling back into his own zone in the corner. Glover, University of Alaska Anchorage commit, a native of Anchorage, Alaska as well. Going back to his hometown, back to his roots to play college hockey next season. Kessel centers. Puck broken up off of Biondo's stick. Nice play by Ryan Orgel. Zach Heiser from the red line. Chips it into the left corner. Rolls around to Prodzik. With his big goal stick, wheels it to Zimmerman. Skinner's brought down to the ice. Nothing called against the Brahmas captain. Aiden Spellacy, Julian Biondo, Austin O'Rourke. Shovels one towards Malishko. Broken up by Donahue's glove, and what have we here? I believe a hand pass against Seamus, who's got his stick entangled now with a couple of Brahmas. This is, we're only 4 minutes into the second period here, folks. Score deadlocked at no goals. Shots deadlocked at a dozen apiece, and already we're seeing things escalating as far as tempers are concerned, and this is just the beginning. It will increase tenfold the longer by the time game 3 rolls around, I'm sure, and however many more games go on from that, it'll just get, teams will get more and more sick of each other. As a result, the game will be less and less pretty. Neutral zone face-off between Justin Adamo and Stephen Tilley. Tilly centering the Wildcats' most consistently played line this season. When I say that, I mean the line that has been tampered with the most, I'll say, by Coach Nelson. With C.J. Walker on his right, Blake Ripley on his left. Three of them forming such a formidable unit, such strong chemistry. When that line is going, the team is going. Seamus Donahue showing poise, clears it into the right corner. Evano is there for the Brahmas. Lone Star defenseman up to Trezera. Trezera tried to drop it to Adamo. Ripley's right in there trying to muddle things up. Evano kicks it down the boards towards Adamo. Adamo banks it past Ripley, not past Tilly rather. And we're gonna get a penalty. Seamus Donahue being told to leave the ice by Zane Stout. I believe Stout's pointed to Seamus here, perhaps not. Might be Frank Trezera guilty. That is the case. Apologies. Frank Trezera guilty of hooking. And the Wildcats will finally get a chance on the Starbright Cleaners power play. Got my dad and my younger brother tuned in from back home. Back in Hampshire, Illinois. Thanks so much, Dad and Nick, for supporting the Wildcats on your Friday. Hope all's going well. Waring will fire a wrist shot, wide glove side of Prozic. Ripley's out there on this power play. He scored a goal for the Wildcats in their last game against Corpus Christi. The Brahmas have cleared it down the length of the ice. The Wildcats dropped their final regular season game last Saturday night down near the Gulf of Mexico against the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. Blake Ripley, the Wildcats' lone goal scorer in that 5-1 loss. Burnett will shoot, stopped by Prozic, rebound, chopped out towards the left point. Waring will hold it in the zone easily as he swings it to Rose on the left circle. Turning, loses the puck, and Kamer will lead one ahead. Kessel can split the D, he's got a breakaway. Pete Kessel, backhand shot denied by Jared Dempsey. The Brahmas' leading goal scorer with a shorthanded breakaway. That's a big no-no. Rosa fires one wide to the right post. Glove side of Prozic. Puck pops over to the right circle. Ripley is there uncontested. Puts it down to the goal line. Burnett returns it. Ripley's got it. Shoots it. Stopped by a Brahmas body in front of Prozic, and it deflects out of play. Not sure Ripley saw. He had Waring in the left circle tapping his stick. He wanted that puck. Wanted to fire a one-timer. Did Jonathan Waring. Ripley with a sniper's instincts. Very much a shoot-first player. And that's understandable when you look at the kid's shooting percentage. Best on the team. Scored from a similar spot on the power play last weekend in Corpus. Donahue slaps one towards the front of the net. Knocked away from there. Walker's got it in the left corner. The future Minnesota State Maverick will drop it to Carballo. Tries to roll one up to the top for Donahue. Broken up and cleared. No, Orgel held it alive just barely at the blue line. Carballo centers all the way through. Donahue in the high slot. Can't find a lane. He gets tripped, and that puck apparently crossed the blue line, but I saw it, folks. I'm standing right here. That did not cross the blue line. Not only should this not be offside, that should have been tripping against the Brahmas. They dodge a huge bullet just there. Not a good call by the linesman in the slightest. They managed to not only miss the penalty, but call a false offside against the Wildcats. I probably had a better look at that puck than Seamus did because his head was up. I'm telling you right now, folks, that puck did not completely cross the blue line. Lone Star catches a break. Cats with a half minute to go on their power play. Tilly is tripped. Again, it goes uncalled. Donahue gets it from the red line, motors his way down the left wing side and fires a wrister right into the glove of Prozic, who decides to take a whistle. A Baker's dozen shots for each team. 18 seconds to go on the power play against Frank Trezera. 13:49 to go in period 2, with this game still scoreless. We're in game 1 of the South Division semis. So Coach Nelson, sticking with his power play unit, does not go back to the even strength just yet. Doesn't want to give up on a chance of a power play goal here. Tilly in the left face-off circle. Walker, while diving, fought off by the pad of Prozic. Way to get that on net by C.J. Walker. Donahue scrapping for it. Austin Kamer wins it from him. Orgel back to cover ground for his co-captain. But that's going to do it for the Wildcats power play, which has just dropped to 0 for 1 on the night. Looked all right, but not quite enough zone time Spent a lot of time in the neutral zone getting reset. Carballo's pass for Walker, not quite in his wheelhouse. Try to drop it back to Tilley. Knocked out of there by Julian Biondo. Walker slings it back into Lone Star territory. Skates over to the bench to complete a full line change in the Wildcats with 5 fresh bodies out there at the moment. Orgel replaced by Waring, thereby completing that line change. Jonathan Waring going back to get it in his own zone. Wildcats leading scorer among defensemen this season. Spellacy able to hold it in the zone at the blue line. Swings one down towards the near side corner, the adjacent corner. It's picked up by Biondo, dropped off for a one-timer. That deflected well wide. In behind the net, it's Regula. Cats trying to get this puck out. Evano said no. His shot ricochets off towards the right corner, and we get a whistle. Trent Williams calling the play dead. 12.5 to go in the second. 14, 13-year shots still favoring the Wildcats, but we're still scoreless here at NYTEX. Game 3, Cats fans will be at home, the first home playoff game. Boy, since last April. My memory serves me right. It would have been, I believe, April 30th, if I'm not mistaken, against the Topeka Roadrunners, Game 2 of the South Division's finals last season. It was the last time the Wildcats had a home playoff game, but next Friday they're going to have another one. Hope to see you out there. Justin Adamo was just given a 2-minute minor penalty, so both teams now even on the penalty department. Each of them have gotten 2 power play opportunities. The Wildcats about to start their second. Wildcats power play is presented by Starbreak Cleaners. Poikla will cycle it back to Waring. Goes back to Poikla on the return pass. Right circle down to Rosa in the right corner. Works his way out to the near corner. Ripley is there. A little bit too close to him. Rosa relays one to Burnett, whose pass between the skates and stick of Ripley couldn't do much with it. Dempsey played it away from Kamer. And the Cats will reset. From their own zone, here comes Alexei Poikla. Up down the left wing side from the blue line. Sandwiched there by Zielinski upon entering the zone. And according to the linesman, that was offside, so we get a whistle. So next Friday night, again, Game 3 between the Wildcats and the Brahmas at the KYC in Wichita Falls. Call the KYC box office to reserve your tickets today. Well, not today, it's closed. Tomorrow. They might be closed tomorrow. No, they're open on Saturdays on game days. Definitely Monday. 10 to 5. 7-1-6-55-55. Brahmas with another delayed penalty here. And boy, the Cats are going to get a 5-on-3. I believe. Hooking. And Zane Stout tightening his leash on this game in the middle stages of the second period. The Brahmas captain, who's normally a very disciplined player, John Zimmerman, guilty of hooking. So the Wildcats with a golden opportunity to open the scoring in the playoffs here. They're going to get a 5-on-3, and with no shortage of skill to put them on the board first. It would be a huge accomplishment against the division-leading Lone Star Brahmas, who only lost 16 games this season, folks. They won as many games this year as the Wildcats did last year, 44 to be exact. Rosa going to work on the face-off on the 5-on-3, but it's won by the Brahmas. Carson Kelly, boy, he's been a stud on the face-offs, wearing left circle with a lot of room. Sends him down to the goal line. Burnett swings it through the slot, out to the right circle. Ripley, Poikla. Rosa's in the middle. Ripley right circle, back to Poikla. Right corner, puts one across, hoping for Burnett. Hit a Brahma's stick and deflected out of his reach. And Zane Stout again has blown the whistle. I'm not sure why this time. Brahmas are going to get a chance to change personnel, and that's big, especially during the second period. Their bench further away from their defensive zone, and on a 5-on-3 power play. That is a crucial whistle. I'm still not sure what instigated it from Zane Stout. Brahmas catch a break. Zielinski wrapped up by Burnett. Lone Star trying desperately to work this puck out of the zone. Can't do it. Courtesy of Nick Rosa, hugging the left half boards. Zielinski's got it behind his net, sandwiched by 3 Wildcats. Pops in front. Rosa trying to do something with it. Brodzic had the post covered. this season. Nick Rosa with 2 goals and 5 assists against Lone Star, including some really clutch ones on the campaign. In 44 games played, Nick Rosa with 31 points. Last year in the playoffs, absolutely cranked it up to a new level, as did his line mates, Johnny Lazarus and Austin Albrecht, who have both moved on. Albrecht now with John LaFontaine's Muskegon Lumberjacks, so Cats fans, we recommend staying tuned to the Lumberjacks, how they fare in the Clark Cup playoffs in the USHL. A very strong team this season. John LaFontaine's made with the Muskegon Lumberjacks. Albrecht and Van Wy, a couple of former Wildcats up there with him. Donahue to the goal line. Tilley back to Donahue, right circle. Tees it up, slapped it to Tilley, deflected it, somehow went wide of the net. Carballo to Orgel, left circle. Back to Carballo at the bottom of the circle. Tries to swing it over. It deflected on net. Brodzic somehow was able to adjust to that crazy change in direction. Orgel out to Tilley. Wheels it up to the top. Donahue decides better of the shot. Wheels to the left circle. Donahue swings it to Orgel. Got a man right in front of him. Can't pull the trigger. Cycles one to Walker, top of the left circle. Up to the top, it's Donahue. Time winding down on the 5-on-3. Donahue and Orgel switch places. Donahue fires, stopped, and the Brahmas clear it. Out of the box is Adamo. He could get a breakaway. Fresh out of the penalty box down the left wing side. Orgel cuts him off. Adamo swings his way behind the net. Throws it in front, all the way out towards Marabella. Is fresh off of a line change. A half minute to go on this Wildcats power play, and the Brahmas looks like they'll have killed off this 5-on-3. Adamo trying to scoot past Walker, who knocked it away from Ebino, now to Malishko. Malishko now to Marabella. Settles down a bouncing puck and slaps it down the length of the ice. No icing here because the Cats are still on the man advantage, but not for much longer. A baker's dozen seconds remain on it. Time for perhaps one last rush. Donahue banks it off the boards. Burnett is waiting for it. No look, backhand pass on the tape for Rose on the left side, off the carom of the boards. Put it in behind the net, off that deflection. It's going to bounce to Heiser, whose shot gets blocked. Peter Kessel turning. Rosa, his shot knocked away. That's Brodzic. The puck goes out of play. And the Brahmas have killed off an enormous 5-on-3 power play for the Wildcats. And that's got this place fired up. We're halfway through regulation time here at NYTEX Sports Centre. 9:50 to go in period 2. As expected, a low-scoring embodiment of the playoffs, and hockey playoffs, really, folks. This is the way games are played. Few mistakes, low scoring, really strong defensive play, hard work away from the puck, a lot of blocked shots. Everything we're seeing is playoff hockey at its best. No score through the first 30 minutes of this game. 14-13 remain your shots in favor of the Wildcats, so none really registered on that 5-on-3. I find that a little bit hard to believe. Maybe they'll go back and add 1 or 2 there. We're going to step aside real quick as we head to our second period media timeout. Be right back, folks. I'm going to give a shout out to Jim Jeffries, one of our many fantastic off-ice officials who's done such a great job for us this season and the seasons prior. Jim, thanks so much for tuning in from work. We know you're a big diehard fan, as that would suggest. Thank you so much for supporting the Wildcats and all you've done for us this season. We sincerely appreciate it. Hope you're having a great Friday night. Molisco, long pass, over Del Ponte's stick. Kamer's got a chance on the right side, spins, loses the puck. Clean hit delivered by Zach Heiser while back checking there. Del Ponte's got to deal with this behind his own net. The Brahmas on a delayed offside, and now they're good to go. And the Swiss-born defenseman, Kareem Del Ponte, shoots one through center, deflected off the stick of Carballo, so no icing here. Brodzic, pressured by Burnett. Carballo stymies the breakout from O'Rourke. Donahue goes tumbling down. Fortunately for him, the Cats keep it deep. Or that could have been a 3-on-1 the other way, potentially. Diving poke check to clear the zone made by the Brahmas. Sipus hustles back to guard O'Rourke. Meanwhile, it's Donahue on Kamer. Kamer sends one over to Zimmerman, whose shot deflected. Strange bounce. Kamer picks it up, dropped it. Spellacy whacked it wide of the net. O'Rourke picks it up behind the goal. Regula's right on him, dropped it for a shot from Zielinski. Flutters high in the air. Nobody manages to find it until now. Sipus behind the net, and we get a whistle. That puck might have been played either by high stick or perhaps it went off the netting. I think it's the former because Zane Stout's pointing outside of the Wildcat zone. This faceoff will leave the Wildcat zone. .8:45 to go in the second. Still no score. Scoreboard update. A couple of Wildcat South Division rivals out in Shreveport tonight. Low-scoring game out there as well, though there is at least a score to be had. Corpus leading the Mudbugs 1-0. A lone goal being scored by Griffin Loughran, 9:21 into that first period. The Ice Rays leading the Mudbugs 1-0, and all season long, folks, the Ice Rays have had the Brahmas, or rather the Mudbugs number for whatever reason. 9-2-1 against Shreveport on the season. Corpus Christi. Biondo gets it. Gets around Donahue and fires, and that missed over top of the crossbar. Nice move there by Julian Biondo to slip past the Wildcats' top defenseman, who's got it on his stick now. Donahue up towards Hannawall. Chips it off the glass high in the air. Settled down by Simon Loof, who clears it past the jumping Donahue's left glove. Sipus wheels it back to Hannawall. No look pass. Works its way out to center. Regula chipped it further. Hannawall accelerates it as far as Cabinia, who can't slip his way past 4 Brahmas at the blue line. Spellacy, left corner. Shoved by Cabinia, but manages to work it away. 7:45 to go in period 2. Still we're scoreless, with 14-13 being your shots on net in favor of the Wildcats. Would you have expected anything else in this game 1? If you did, I'm sorry to tell you, you're mistaken. This is playoff hockey at its finest, folks. York down the left wing side. Walker watching him every step of the way. York with a nice chip down the boards. A little bit too far outside the reach of the intended target. Hunter Stanley keeps on it. Kelly gets into the slot. York with a shot, fought off by Dempsey. Bounces now into the near corner. York still battling hard. The Wildcats managed to clear it past Evano, who was guarding the right point at the blue line. Interesting scenario we've got. Both teams very heavy and right-handed shooting defensemen. Each team tonight with only 1 left-handed defenseman. The Wildcats, 6 of their 7 blue liners shoot right-handed. The Brahmas, 5 of their 6. The Wildcats have just iced the puck. Roman Canal still not playing. He's nursing a minor upper body injury. We actually expected him to play this weekend, but I guess it's still bugging him a little bit. Doesn't want to play if he's not at 100% in the playoffs here. Game 1 against a very strong opponent. Wants to make sure he is 100% ready to go against a very strong team. Malishko from the right side will fire, missing the net. Zimmerman at the left point. Chips one down past C.J. Walker. Walker turning, clears it past the blue line, just barely. Adamo intercepting easily and dropping it to Jakob Malishko. The Slovak off the skate of Marabella. Brodzik, Malishko. Skinner turns on the pressure. Zimmerman up to Adamo. French-born forward slides one across in front of the Brahmas bench, picked up by Malishko, whose drive is blocked by Jonathan Waring. Skinner waiting for it. Trezera on top of it, picking it up and cycling it back behind the net. Carballa will go over there. Marabella puts up the pressure on him. Carballa will soccer one up the boards, not out. Malishko a drive, stick save by Dempsey. Puck pops over to Wyatt Matthews on the left side from the red line. He will chip it deep into Brahma's territory. Skinner would have been first to it had it not been for Prodzik's aggression, which paid off. 3 Brahmas right on top of each other, but they managed to work the puck out. Kessel trying to dig it free from Del Ponte. No luck with that. Orgel from his own zone. 6 to go in period 2, still scoreless here in Brahma land. A very, very close contest so far, with chances not really favoring either side. Kamer lays one down the right boards into the right corner. Del Ponte checks the stick of Kessel. Pinballs around in front of the blue paint there, tacked into the corner by Glover. Back to the right point, Loof. Long shot, well wide left side of the net of Dempsey. Didn't even have to put his blocker on that one. Glover had it escape his reach. Ripley up towards Burnett. He turns on the Jets, gets past Stoley down the right side, flies to the goal. He loses his stick. He was hooked. His stick knocked clean out of his hands. How is this not a penalty? Tilley battling for it in the right corner with Stoley. Tilley swings it back to the right point. Orgel gets it down to Tilley. Del Ponte wants it. Burnett gets it on the right side, wheels his way behind and throws it in front all the way through. Back to Orgel and down the ice. 5 minutes to go in period 2. Still we're scoreless here at NYTEX. Dempsey turns it over. Look out here, a shot, score! Aiden Spellacy, the beneficiary of a less than stellar pass by Jared Dempsey. Out aggressively to play that puck. from the right corner in his own zone. And that's not the way you want to give up your first goal of the playoffs, but the Wildcats doing the right thing and going over to Jared Dempsey, giving him pats on the back and encouraging him, telling him not to worry about it. And folks, this, if you remember, Ryan Burnett flew past Alex Stolle on the other end, got a breakaway. He was in alone, and Simon Loof was hustling back to try to cut down the angle that Burnett had, which was a pretty good one with all that speed that he's got. Cats fans, you know how fast Ryan Burnett is. That was a virtually as clean cut of a breakaway as you're going to get outside of maybe Carvalho's earlier in the first period. And Loof just slashed the stick right out of Burnett's hands. I don't know how that wasn't a slashing penalty. And just seconds later, the Brahmas score. So an unfortunate turn of events for the Wildcats. Here comes Spellacy again, who just scored for Lone Star, defended by the other number 6, Sipus. Left point, Zielinski chops it down into the corner. Biondo turning the corner and sliding one through the slot and well wide of the net. Donahue. Sipus. Pass one off a skate, comes to O'Rourke, who blasts one, blocked by Donahue's stick, and the puck deflects off a different stick and out of play. 4:18 to go in the second. The Brahmas have finally opened the scoring. Aiden Spellacy with the first goal of these playoffs, or of the South Division semis between these teams at least. On the season, Spellacy had just 4 goals, 15 points, and not many will come too much easier than that. It's unfortunate with how well Jared Dempsey's played. Those sort of things do happen. Either he just didn't see him, the mask maybe impeded his vision a little bit, or tried to clear it up the boards and just didn't get enough under it. Just happened to bounce off a stick and right into the front of a vacant goal. Regula knocks down Carson Kelly off that face-off. Swivels his way across the blue line after having dumped the puck deep into Brahmas territory. Evano pinned up now by Ricky Carvalho. Hanawal's in front of Prodzic, waiting for the puck to pop free. Regula and Carvalho in there doing the work. Hanawal joins the mix now as well. Carvalho is brought down by Zielinski's hand. Carvalho loses his helmet. That looked like hand contact against Jack Zielinski that went uncalled. The helmet's still loose at the side of Prodzic's net. Puck is flown high in the air, settled down by Heiser. Can't clear it past Stanley, but Stanley kicked one inadvertently to a couple of Wildcats. Walker, who fed Skinner, who feeds Regula now, driving wide on Zielinski. He gets hooked again, nothing is called. And now the puck ends up at the side of the net. Chopping at it will be Skinner. That gets blocked. Brahma's getting away with absolutely everything right now. York down the right side, in across the blue line at Stanley. Put one between the skates of Regula. Shot, save, rebound. Somehow that didn't go in. Looked like Adamo had the entire net to shoot at, somehow didn't bury it. Adamo gloves it down in the slot, backhand pass. Marabella's shot blocked by Walker, who clears one up to Skinner. Skinner down the right wing side from the red line, chips it behind the Brahmas net. Prodzic drops it off. Simon Loof takes a hit, maintains possession of the puck, strong on his skates. Loof and Waring take a couple of whacks at it, 2 sticks together, canceling. Wildcats have angled that puck off the boards and down. Icing will be called against Wichita Falls. 2:45 to go in period 2. The Brahmas with a 1-0 lead and a few consecutive unanswered shots on net. Starting to tip the scales in their favor a little bit after that fluky goal scored by Aiden Spellacy. Got the Howards tuned in at home, a couple of diehard Wildcats fans and season ticket holders. To Rodney and Sherry Howard, thank you so much for your support of the Wildcats over the last number of years. Zimmerman, right side, put it back door, deflects on net. Dempsey with a stop, and the rebound comes to Orgel. Another close call. Dempsey's had to be careful now to open up his 5-hole a few times. Done really good, moving laterally, making pad stops, both pads, his left and his right, have been equally strong in this one. Long stretch pass. Skinner deflects it over towards Cabinha. Swatted out of there by Malisko. Waring's got it. Waring wrapped up by Drake Glover in front of the Brahmas bench. Cabinha, Glover, Poikala all battling. Pops free from Malisko to carry into the zone. Gaining entry, Kamer's shot was a slow roller, a changeup back to the trailer off the line change. It's O'Rourke whistling one wide, blocker side of Dempsey. Cats shovel it down the ice. Will this go far enough? No, it will not. Malisko is forced to play it. Cats are managed to complete a partial line change here with 100 seconds remaining in period 2. The Brahmas leading 1-0. Aiden Spellacy, your lone goal scorer tonight. Ripley held the puck in alive at the left point. Now it's pushed down by Jocko Malisko's glove. Slides it over to Biondo down the left side. He stops, he waits, he shoots. Stopped by Dempsey. Rebound, loose in the crease. Sent out towards O'Rourke. He centers a shot. Fought off by Dempsey on Julian Biondo. Sipus hacks it up towards Carballo. Carballo motors in, spins one beautifully over towards Ripley. Has to reach out his stick and fire off the stick of Brodzik. Carballo again with his head up trying to find Donahue. Closed off by several white sweaters around him. And Carballo will work one down off the left corner boards. It bounces. Ripley with a minute to go in period 2. The Brahmas leading 1-0. Donahue from the left point takes a shot, stopped by Brodzik, and no rebound, more importantly. Ripley was there lurking, even though Evano was there. Donahue with a good job just getting that shot on net through some traffic. Poikala responsible for winning this offensive zone faceoff with 57.7 seconds remaining in period 2. Tries to walk Carson Kelly off the draw. Rosa will chip it back to Seamus at the left point. Head fake, left circle, fires a shot through traffic, stopped by Prodzik's blocker. And the puck is on edge, rolling down the ice. The linesman with his arm in the air. This will go far enough for icing. Cats catch a break. That puck was on edge. As a result, it accelerated more quickly than it would have had the puck been laying flat. Because it was rolling, it gained more velocity. So the Brahmas guilty of icing, and the Cats with another offensive zone face-off in the same spot will take place between the same two centermen, a couple of veterans, Alexei Poikala and Carson Kelly. Off the tie-up, Burnett scoops it up and swings it back to Seamus. Now to Sipus, right side, his shot deflected. Wide of the right post by Poikala. Poikala with one hand on his stick will try to work it back to Seamus. He turns. Rosa down towards Burnett, broken up by Zimmerman. Poikala again from the left corner. He and Seamus swap places. Poikala swings it up to Dom Sipus on the right side. Back to Alexei. Steps into the middle, fires a shot. After pulling that trigger, the puck got blocked instantly. 16 seconds to go in the period. York chips one off the glass and out. Donahue, Sipus in his own zone with 10 seconds to go. Can the Cats get one last shot? Rosa chips one deep into Brahmas territory behind their net. Brodzik out of his net to play it. Wraps one around. Poikala takes a hack at it, but to no avail. Second period has come to an end. Low scoring game, albeit, but the Brahmas have opened the scoring after a miscue by Jared Dempsey, who was out of his net, did not look like a threat at all. But he happened to just pass it off the only enemy stick in the area, Aiden Spellacy. It deflected off of his stick right in front of Dempsey's net, which was unoccupied. And Spellacy had but to tap it into the gaping 6x4 net to give the Brahmas a 1-0 lead. That was just seconds after a clear slashing penalty went uncalled. The Brahmas caught a big break there. Game probably should not be 1-0, but Cats are just going to have to put that behind them and focus on the task at hand in period 3. They've been playing well. They've stuck with the Brahmas. They do not want their efforts to go to waste by dropping game 1 here tonight. That is for sure. Nothing would inflate the team more than winning tonight and overcoming all odds and taking down the best team in the South Division this season, arguably the best team in the league. The only other team with more points than the Brahmas this season, the Aston Rebels, who outpointed them by 5, playing in a much weaker East Division. With that said, a lot of people say the Brahmas are the best team in the league this season because they've mustered up a 90-point season in the South Division, the best division in the NAHL. The East, possibly the weakest, with the Northeast Generals struggling greatly this season on their inaugural NAHL campaign. The Wildcats never had the opportunity to play a team like that's for sure, nor did the Brahmas this season. Anyways, Aiden Spellacy, a lone goal scorer. That goal came pretty late in that opening period, or in that second period rather, by Aiden Spellacy for that defensive zone turnover. Goal credited to Spellacy at 15:05. It's just under 5 minutes remaining in that second period. The Cats did not manage to respond, but they've still got 20 minutes to do so. We'll be back to bring you third period hockey and more in about 15 minutes or so, folks. In the meantime, stick with us. Thanks so much for your patience. Hope you're having a great Friday. It's an exciting atmosphere here at NYTEX Sports Centre. 1-0 Brahmas through the first 40 here in Brahma Land. We'll be back soon. You're listening to Wildcats Hockey on the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Don't go anywhere, folks. This one's just getting started.
If you're ready, 3, 2, 1, start shot. Keep them coming, keep them coming. Which one eliminated this target for a free royal check? Decision. All right. Keep them coming. We're going to line up here soon. 3, 2,
Alex,
1,
what was Dempsey doing there?
0.
He was playing.
Come on, get up and dance. What's the Peter Brothers Jelly song? Nolan, you know this song? I won't tell your teammates if you know this song. I won't tell them, no worries. Somebody must know this song. The Cock Knives Go. There's a guy that knows this song. I see him dancing over there. What about the Fort Worth FC soccer team? You guys don't dance? Get up and dance, come on. FWFC, get up and dance. Nobody's gonna see you, we don't videotape. Get up, let's go. If you don't get up,
let's start. Left foot, let's start. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Right foot, let's start. Left foot, let's start. Cha-cha now, y'all. Last time we get funky. To the right now. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. One hop this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Chop, chop, real smooth. Let's go to work. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 2 hops this time. 2 hops this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. Kick from it. Oh, yeah. Come on. Cha-cha now, y'all. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 5 hops this time. Right foot, let's start. Left foot, let's start. Right foot again. Left foot again. Right foot, let's start. Left foot, let's start. Freeze! Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all. Check it out, y'all. Come. How low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the floor? How low can you go? Can you bring it to the top? Like it never stop? Can you bring it to the top? 1 hop. Right foot down. Left foot down, y'all. Chop, chop, real smooth. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all.
Watch me,
fans, there's something to be said for doing that quiz. But, have you picked yourself up a special agent playoff t-shirt yet? You want Chris doing the quiz tonight? Available at the team store.
All right, welcome back, everyone. To those of you still listening who've stuck with us, appreciate your patience. Sorry about that delay. 1-0 your score in favor of the Lone Star Brahmas. We've got about 5 minutes left. Had a spare moment here, so decided to come back, pop up back on the air, and give you a bit of a breakdown of the game up till this point. Again, we're in the second intermission, so 2/3 of the game has completed. There was no scoring that took place in the first period. It didn't look like there'd be any in the second either. And were it not for a fluky blunder, there probably would not have been. No scoring took place in the second all the way up until there were just 5 minutes left. Before we get to that, the Wildcats had a pretty long 5-on-3 power play, folks, and it really did not put enough pressure on Prozic, in my opinion. The Brahmas didn't even register, or the Cats rather, didn't even register a shot on goal, at least not per the Brahmas scorekeepers down there. So on a 5-on-3, that is not going to cut it. That'll make a coach pull his hair out. Simply failing to score on a 5-on-3 is frustrating enough for coaches, but not getting a shot on goal is unacceptable. So that's, I'm sure, something that Coach Nelson will address to his team in the locker room here in the second intermission. There's not going to be a whole lot of 5-on-3 power plays in the playoffs. Less so the longer, the deeper the Wildcats go. So that was a golden opportunity gone by the wayside. Not even so much as a shot on Prozic. Pretty decent amount of offensive zone time, but it's a 5-on-3. Of course that will be the case. And the Cats just failed to put one past Prozic. And then riding high on some of that momentum from killing a 5-on-3, this whole place was popping after that. And took a few minutes later, and it wasn't really a result of Brahma's momentum that caused this goal. What happened, folks, what I saw at least, the Brahmas just kind of cleared the puck down. It was not on a power play, a Wildcats power play, but it was also not going the length of the ice. It would not have been icing. So Dempsey saw it, came out of his net, over to his right, in the right corner, adjacent or relative to him, of his own zone, and had it. And there didn't seem to be a whole lot of pressure. It didn't look like a dangerous, risky play, not in the slightest, when Dempsey came out to play that puck. And unfortunately, it looked like when he tried to just quickly clear the zone and lift any pressure upcoming from the Brahmas, who are in the midst of a line change, it just happened to carry him off of I think it hit Spelisi's stick. It definitely hit a stick in front of Dempsey and changed direction and rolled right back into his unoccupied net at that point. And none of the Wildcats went back to play goal for him, obviously. They were waiting for passes. I saw Kareem Del Ponte wanted a pass, and Dempsey just tried to make the safe play. It turned into a disaster. Took a fluky bounce for the Lone Star Brahmas. Right in front of the open net, and Spelcy with a tap-in goal. Unfortunately, the game that's been so well played, so hard fought by both sides, that's the only goal we've got. That's just the way she goes sometimes. In the playoffs, you take them any way you can get them. The Brahmas got one there. However, Jared Dempsey would redeem himself, folks. Just moments later, after that goal scored by Spelcy to open the scoring, Justin Adamo got a point-blank chance. The puck just kind of rolled to him, right between the hash marks. Really the highest goal-scoring range you can possibly imagine, highest percentage scoring area, I guess you could say, that you could possibly ask for. Point-blank range for Adamo, uncontested, right in front of Dempsey. And Dempsey stopped the shot with the shaft of his stick. It was nothing short of miraculous. That puck stayed out of the net. Tremendous video crew that the Brahmas have had me go over and review it in the intermission. I went back and watched it in slow motion and high definition, and folks, that was a miraculous save. This game very easily could be 2-0 right now in favor of the Brahmas. Dempsey making that shot, making that stop at point-blank range against Adamo, who's a good shooter, with the shaft of his stick. Might have even hit the knob, I couldn't quite tell. But it was an unbelievable save by Dempsey to keep the Wildcats to within a goal. A very realistic margin from which to come back and tie this game. With the way they've played tonight, very possible. But the Brahmas don't beat themselves. That's what's made them something of a dynasty over the last number of years here, is the fact that they don't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves. They make you beat them. And the Wildcats are going to have to take it to them for the next 20 minutes, because when the Brahmas have a 1-0 lead, that's like trying to take a chew toy away from a dog. Good luck. Third period underway here at NYTEX. The Brahmas set up shop immediately in the offensive zone. The one-timer from Zimmerman, he barely got anything on it. It flutters harmlessly into the left corner. Kamer pursued by Kareem Del Ponte. A rolling puck hacked at by Burnett. Squeaks its way up to Orgel, one-handed it along, but not out. Malisco fakes a slap shot, poked away by Rosa. He could get a 2-on-1. Carballo on the right side. Burnett down the middle, closely behind him. Rosa with his head up, looks, shoots, blocked. Not sure where that puck ended up, but it deflects all the way out to center. Glove down by Glover. No pun intended. Gains the zone, drops it off at the right point. It's Malisco firing, fought off by Dempsey's shoulder, his right shoulder. Loose puck rattling around there somewhere. Dempsey decides to leave it for Alexi Poikala, rather Seamus Donahue, who slips past Julian Biondo. Puck is turned over again. The Wildcats in the midst of a line change. Biondo fakes a slap shot, holds on, shoots, stopped by Dempsey, and he sprawls on that puck to hang on to it. What a save. Just 58 seconds into this third period. Biondo on a 2-on-1. Had a glorious chance on the right side near the bottom of the circle. 1-0 Brahmas, your score very early in period 3. Jared Dempsey has been a rock in net tonight for the Wildcats. Poikala, clean face-off win. Cyphus jabs one up. Skinner trying to lift Biondo's stick. Rolls deep behind the Wildcats' goal. Donahue up past Cabinia's stick and down. Stoley in pursuit of it in his own zone. Skinner's right behind him. Skinner finishes him off along the wall. O'Rourke picks up, follows up, chips it up towards Spelcy. Eluding the pressure from Cabinia, springs Biondo down the left side on his backhand, shoots Dempsey with a stop. Loof goes down, penalty to be called against Wyatt Matthews for either tripping or hooking, whatever they decide to call. And the Brahmas back to the power play. 2-minute minor called against Wyatt. He's had a very strong game, but got too much of Loof on the way through there. Wildcats penalty kill presented by Parkway Grill, 2 for 2 tonight. Not faced a Brahmas power play in quite a while. A minute and a half into this third period, and the Wildcats cannot overlook this penalty kill right here. Got to focus on killing this off before they go back on the offensive. They can manage to kill two birds with one stone, great, but they've got to remain focused on fending this off. Poikla loses it to Simon Loof. His fellow Scandinavian can't clear. Cabinha with a good presence on Loof. Has his stick tied up in him. Digs it loose, and the Brahmas will reset with a quarter of their power play having already expired. Evano leads the rush from his own zone. Up to Kelly on the left wing. Stanley motors his way down the left side, drops it. Kelly shoots it, chest save. Dempsey square to that shot from Carson Kelly. 2 minutes have gone by in this third period. The Brahmas up 1-0, out shooting the Wildcats 24-18. A minute 23 remain on the power play. Penalty called against Wyatt Matthews. Glover and his big guns surrounding him will go to work on an offensive zone face-off for the Brahmas. Held in the zone nicely by the stick of John Zimmerman at the right point. Malisco gets it straight away. One-timer from Kessel, he scores! Left circle, Pete Kessel let it rip. Dempsey barely even reacted to that shot. And how could he have? It was a bullet from Kessel, and the Brahmas have doubled their lead. That was good movement around the perimeter by the Lone Star Brahmas. When they move the puck, folks, they do it with purpose. They don't just do it to be flashy, they do it to get somebody set up in a high percentage scoring area. And that somebody just happened to be their best scorer this season. Pete Kessel led the Brahmas with 27 goals in the regular season. Now he's got one in one game in the playoffs. And that was from Zimmerman to Malisco to Kessel. Carballo on his backhand, shoots, didn't get much on that shot, ended up going into the left corner. Cats have got to start picking up their urgency here, as now they're facing a 2-goal deficit for the first time tonight. Sipis has it knocked away by Kessel. He sends one over to Kamer down the right side, gaining some ground on Regula. He shoots. Dempsey had to be careful with that one. He made the stop. With those two, just blazing speed. That whole line is so dangerous for the Brahmas. Glover, Kessel, and Kamer. The unquestioned top skill line for Dan Wildfong all season long. All of them veterans in their own right. As is very much the custom here in Brahmaland. Walker swats one through the slot over towards the bottom of the edge of the left circle. Tilly hacks it directly out of play. Might have taken a carom off of Brahma's stick. We'll see. It'll depend on where this face-off takes place. I believe it will stay in the Brahmas zone to Prodzik's right. Lone Star taking advantage of the opportunity they have to change him up. The Wildcats decide to stick with the same line. Tilly, Ripley, Walker, Del Ponte, and Waring manning the points. 3 minutes into this third period, it's the Brahmas with a 2-0 lead. This lone third period goal being scored by Pete Kessel on a Brahmas power play. Here's a drive from Del Ponte, just missed the net wide. Loof picks up the puck off of that carom. That was a heavy bullet from Kareem Del Ponte. Had a Wildcat been there parked on the other side with inside positioning on Loof, it would have been a tap-in goal. That's something they're going to have to start doing, the Wildcats, if they want to score. The Brahmas aren't going to give them anything easy, that's for sure. Icing being waved off. Ripley is first to it, met by Stoley in the corner. Loof rolls one around towards York, drops it back to Stoley. Walker crashing into him. Ripley in there digging. York swings it up to Kelly. Carson Kelly with a 50-point regular season for the Brahmas. Flips one on net. Dempsey will just hang on to it. 16 and a half remain in the third period. Lone Star leading 2-0, and they're pulling away in the shots on goal department. Now at 26-18. Still no shots on net from the Wildcats in this period, though that bullet from Del Ponte came oh so close. Cats will change him up. Tilly's lined to the bench. Poikola's lined to the ice. The Lone Star, it'll be O'Rourke, Biondo, and Spellacy, the last of whom scored the opening goal in this game, the 34-55 mark. A fluke bounce. That's how a huge chunk of goals in the playoffs are scored, though, folks. Right now, the Wildcats are really going to have to put everything on the line to try to tie this game up. They're going to have to sacrifice their bodies to get to the areas you do not want to go to. Poikola finds Heiser, entering the zone on the backhand shot, deflects on net. Prodzik is down, and the butterfly makes the stop. Prodzik stopping everything high, stopping everything low, stopping everything middle, everything around him right now. You're not going to beat him cleanly, it looks like, not with the way that he's played tonight. The Cats have got to beat him on a second opportunity, on a rebound. And this is where it would really help to have Kevin Fees in the lineup, somebody who loves going to the front of the net and causing havoc. He is suspended for tonight. He will return for tomorrow night's game, and the Cats will definitely welcome him back with open arms. Puck's been cleared down the length. Zimmerman out racing everybody easily. Icing called against Wichita Falls as we're 4.5 minutes into this third period, with the Brahmas leading the Cats 2-0. Their goals from Aiden Spellacy in the second, Pete Kessel in this third. Face off to Dempsey's left. Poikola beats Marabella on the draw. Alexi's had a pretty strong night on face-offs as well, which is saying something considering he's gone up against Carson Kelly quite a bit. Fluttering pass works its way to Skinner. Burnett, or rather Cabina, had been falling. Offside called against him and the Wildcats. Game 2 tomorrow night, folks. Hope to have you on board with us. Same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. at the scheduled puck drop here at NYTEX Sports Centre for game number 2 in the South Division semifinal series. The team which is down will look to split the series. The team which is leading will look to take the 2-game sweep and try to finish the series next Friday night. Sipus up to Rosa, off his skate. Rosa with a good recovery, lifts the stick and steals the puck. Weasels his way in down the right wing side, did well to get through both Malishko and Glover. Donahue rolls it back around. Rosa tapped it to Burnett. Knocked off his blade by Zimmerman. Into the right corner it comes. Puck is broken up by Drake Glover. Back in the corner it stays. Burnett wheeling his way towards the outside, trying to get any kind of separation. Cats just having no space to do anything right now. The puck slides out past the blue line into neutral territory. Donahue's pass intercepted easily by Kessel. Carballo steals it in the neutral zone. Down the right wing side, he's closed off and finished. And Malisko barely beats Dom Sipus to that puck. Stanley down the right side, drops it to Kelly. Pulls up and shoots, it gets blocked by Ryan Burnett. Sticks with him. Sipus now behind his goal. Rolls one out towards the right point. Nobody's there except for Loof, who will walk in and fire one. Pinballed in an odd direction, works its way into the left corner. Sipus behind his own net, now to Donahue. Seamus Donahue to Nick Rosa. Nick Rosa from the red line, crunched up and closed off and finished by a cross check of Troy York. Rosa skates to the Wildcats bench after a long, hard-fought shift. Kelly angles one off his own end boards behind his net. Loof chips it off the glass and out quickly. Wyatt Matthews covering ground, picking up the puck. Slides one around the wall in the Brahma zone. Walker from the right corner. 13:45 to go in the third period. The Cats trailing the Brahmas 2-0. Biondo had a strong game. Squeaks one past Jonathan Waring. O'Rourke's got it on the left side, defended by Wyatt Matthews. O'Rourke put it across. Somehow that one didn't go in. It went through the slot. Over it onto the right side. It's Loof, and we get a whistle. Dempsey was crashed into. The net was dislodged. Spellacy took a tumble into the goal. And I think Zane Stout is telling Regula to go to the box for interference or holding on Aiden Spellacy, which is what caused him to go crashing into the net. Or so Stout claims. The Brahmas converted on their last power play. 1 for 3 on the night. We're going to have a chance to virtually put this game away with another goal here. Mustering comebacks against the Brahmas is hard enough, let alone in the playoffs. Cats already trailing 2-0. And Kamer will swing it up to Kessel. Dropped it over to Zimmerman at the right point. Malisko, the Brahmas looking ferociously here to try to add to their lead. Malisko in the left circle. Slides one across, hoping for Glover. Not quite in his wheelhouse. The clearing attempt by Del Ponte just happened to bounce off of Cabina's skate. Bad bounce for the Wildcats, and Glover has a stick lifted by Poikala. Great job by Alexei, whose pass went off of a Brahma in the neutral zone. It was Kamer. Cabina gives it away to Kamer, who steps in into the left circle, cuts to the net, drives and fires, just missing the right post. Orgel swats one. Lands flat on the ice. Cabina will settle the puck down and clear it. Kill off a few seconds. And by the Cats, enough time to change him up. 4 fresh bodies on the ice for the Wildcats. Zimmerman behind his own goal. Halfway through this Brahmas power play, which always looks dangerous. Loof misfired on that pass from Stanley. Icing called against the Brahmas. 12.5 to go in the third. Lone Star up 2-0 here in game 1 of the South Division semis. CJ Regula in the box for the next 59 seconds. We're holding on to the Brahma who went crashing into the net, Aiden Spellacy. Ryan Burnett to take the face-off against Carson Kelly. That is quite a mismatch in the face-off department. Burnett, a natural winger, and Kelly, one of the best face-off men in the business. Got the job done. And Loof will start it down the right wing. In across the blue line, showing some good hands. Slips through, puck pops out to York. Fans on the shot, second shot, missing glove side. Sipus flies one around. That went directly out of play, I believe. Perhaps it deflected, but looks like it went directly out because the faceoff will stay in the Wildcat zone here. To Dempsey's left. Both teams get a chance to clear. Or to complete line changes, I should say. 36 seconds to go on the penalty against CJ Regula. The Cats have to fight off this little flurry before they start attacking again. Poikala with a good face-off win on Kessel. Heiser chips one off the boards, but not out. Nice keep. Zimmerman, long wrist shot. Deflected into the left corner. Heiser will pick it up. Second effort to clear. Kamer did it for him. Zimmerman laid out by Isaac Cabina. Nice clean hit in front of his own bench. And Heiser flies one down the length of the ice. Brodzik going to have to play it. 10 seconds to go on the Brahmas power play. Malishko up to Biondo. One-on-one against Wyatt Matthews. He slips past him and dekes. Loses the puck, gets back on it, shoots, shoulder save, Dempsey, rebound. Sent wide by Spellacy. Wyatt Matthews goes tumbling down. He was knocked off balance. Biondo with a beautiful play to keep the puck in the zone, the Wildcat zone. Regula finishes his check on Malishko, who heads to the Brahmas bench. Puck is battled for behind the Wichita Falls net. Wyatt Matthews blasts one around. Cats will scramble to complete at least a partial line change here as Spellacy goes right back into the Wildcat zone. These transitions by the Brahmas are so quick. They are not contested at all by the Wildcats right now in the neutral zone. They're just being given the middle of the ice to fly through and gain the Wildcat zone with all kinds of speed and possession of the puck. Ripley pries it free from Evano. Adamo is back in Evano's stead. Ripley with a shot, steered aside by Brodzik. Waring kicks one down towards the right circle. Waring gets it back and fires off that return pass from Ripley. Didn't get through the Brahmas' bodies. 10:35 to go in period 3. Lone Star still with a 2-0 lead, and the Wildcats without a sniff on goal here in this third period so far. Jack Zielinski down the right wing side. Centers one. Ripley broke it up. Chipped one off the boards, hoping for Tilly. Trezera beat him to it, and then will safely guide it on back to Blake Evano. Blake Evano, as we're midway through this third period. Adamo. Trezera gains the zone. Checked by Waring. Marabella, pop off his shoulder. Manages to settle it down somehow in that corner over there. Brahmas win that puck battle 2-on-3. Dancing his way to the front of the net and shooting where there was Troy York. And Dempsey caught it with his blocker hand. 9:55 to go in the third. Brahmas up 2-0, and we head to our third period media timeout. We're going to step aside for a quick break, folks. You're listening to Wildcats Hockey on the Wildcats Broadcast Network. 2-0 Lone Star here in Game 1 of the South Division Semis. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. We'll be right back.
Hospital Park. 16 in 2007.
This third period's been owned by the Brahmas, especially that neutral zone. Anytime the Cats even enter the opposing zone, there's 4+ Brahmas back, collapsed in the middle of the ice, taking away any high-quality scoring chances right in the mid-slot there, in between the circles and the hash marks. Just body upon body, blocking any lane to the net. York off the draw, misfired on that shot wide of Dempsey's glove. Stoli playing very aggressively, loses the puck. Regula sauces it to Cabinia, return pass. Cats get a rare 3-on-2. Hanawal flying down the left wing, takes the shot, hoping for a rebound, but Prozic soaked it up with his glove. This was a nice pass on that zone exit by CJ Regula. Had he not gotten rid of that so quickly, it would have been chipped away off his stick. Had he even taken a split second longer than he did to chip it out to Ryan Burnett on the right wing side. Smart play by Regula to spring Burnett and Hanawal on that 3-on-2 Wildcats rush. Hanawal hoping for a rebound. He aimed low, which is a smart decision, but he aimed glove side, making it pretty easy for Prozic to swallow it up. And the Brahmas win the defensive zone faceoff, and just like that, they're out. Kessel down the left wing side with Sipus defending. Along the half boards, Glover is set up in the slot. Back to Evano with a shot. Stopped by Dempsey with a good chest save. No further play. But some antics taking place after. Third period out in Shreveport tonight at George's Pond Hirsch Coliseum, halfway through period 3. The Ice Rays still maintaining that 1-0 lead that they gained about midway through the first period. This is how the playoffs work, folks. Everything is so low scoring. Final out in Minnesota tonight, the Fairbanks Ice Dogs won Game 1 in that series, 2-1. Probably going to be the most common scoreline we see in the postseason, 2-1. The NHL is pretty much the same story. Not very many high-scoring playoff games so far at all. Here comes Austin O'Rourke, could get a partial breakaway. The puck is rolling, can't get a shot away. Seamus Donahue pressuring him from behind, lifted his stick. Zimmerman, meanwhile, right point, misfired on that shot. Wide of Dempsey's glove hand. Carballo spins it over there towards Donahue, who will pick up the rolling puck and feed one ahead too far for Nick Rosa. Zimmerman flies one out of his own zone, alleviating the pressure. Adamo steps in, driving it wide on Ryan Orgel. Using that 6'5" frame of his to win possession of the puck and then center. It just rolled through the blue paint there, close call. No Brahma was there, backdoor to slam it in. Carballo blocks the shot from Loof, could get a partial breakaway down the right side. Carballo driving, trying to shoot. What a sprawling save. They score on the rebound. The net was dislodged, and this goal's not going to count. Unbelievable. The Brahmas knocked the net off, and Burnett scored on the rebound. Burnett is giving it to Zane Stout right now. He is furious, and this goal's not going to count because the net came off. And I can't quite see who knocked that net off. Maybe we'll get a better look here. Carballo denied by Prozic. Net comes off. And of course, nothing's going to be called here as far as a penalty. Just another chance gone by the wayside. That's a tactic we're seeing more and more commonly used by goaltenders and defensemen alike. And unfortunately, nothing's been done to discourage it. I've not once seen that called a penalty all season long for delay of game, which is what is supposed to be called in that scenario. When you intentionally knock your net off when you know there's an impending scoring chance, because you know the goal's not going to count if the net's off. And goaltenders have gotten really sly and sneaky with it with their skates and their pads. It's tough for me to say, folks. That's a close call, but I don't like that one bit. And normally would, before this season started, absolutely would have given the benefit of the doubt. No goal. Zane Stout gives the washout signal. And Seamus Donahue having a discussion with the head referee right now. And Zane Stout's going to have some explaining to do to Josh Nelson. .8:20 to go in the third period. The Wildcats just had a goal waved off because the net came off. And that needs to, after the amount of times I've seen that tactic pulled off this season, it just so happens to be on so many scoring opportunities. For whatever reason, I feel it seems like Ryan Burnett has been associated with those plays more often than anyone. He had a goal denied in Amarillo because of it back in February. But after this season, with what I've seen, how often it's being used, I'm sure at not just this level, I'd really love to start seeing that called a penalty. It needs to be. The Brahmas catch an enormous break. They still lead 2-0 here with 8 minutes and change remaining in period 3. Carson Kelly down the left side, slips one through. Stanley with an opening, weaves his way in behind the net and stops and changes direction. Changes course again, goes the other way. Tried to turn it on net, pinballed off of Orgel's skates. Brahmas still with possession. York up to Zielinski, rolls it back down around the end wall. Puck is on edge. Skinner will pick it up. Turning, chipping it off the glass and out. At the red line, Evano slams it back into the Wildcat zone. Rolls hard around the wall. From the left point, it's Stanley. Crunched up by Walker. Puck is chipped up again. Walker, the step from Malisko knocked it away, and Stanley rolls one back down past the Wildcats goal line. Orgel entangled with Glover. Puck is rolling around in the slot. Skinner tipped it aside, but it stays in the zone. Kamer into the left corner with possession. Stolen off of his stick by Ryan Orgel. Orgel gives it to Poikala. Poikala out to Waring. Brahmas completing what's left of their line changes. Skinner chips it into the Zimmerman corner. Zimmerman banks it back to Malisko. Malisko up with a good pass. Here comes Spellis. He could get a chance on the left side. He will fire. And that shot was about 15 feet wide. Not sure if Waring got a piece of it with his stick. Nevertheless, Dempsey will snag that puck with his blocker hand and take a whistle. 6:53 to go in the third. 2-0 Brahmas. Corpus Christi Shreveport Mudbug game update. A little bit less time than we have here. 5.5 to go in their third period out at the pond. Still Corpus nursing that 1-goal lead that they gained way back midway through the first period. I'm getting some texts saying that they had a better look of that review of that replay in which the net came off right before Burnett scored. Sounds like Carballo was checked from behind, causing the net to come off. If there was going to be a penalty call, it should have been on the back checker who crashed into Ricky Carballo, which ultimately dislodged the net. Delayed penalty is upcoming here. O'Rourke and Tilley were going at it right in front of the Wildcats bench. We saw a very similar penalty called against C.J. Regula, I believe it was, earlier in the game. No, it was Wyatt Matthews, which actually led to the Brahmas goal, who tripped Simon Loof on the way through. But O'Rourke is going to be penalized for his antics on Stephen Tilley over in front of the Wildcats bench. Back to the power play, the Cats go. 0 for 3 on the night. 2 minutes for roughing called against Austin O'Rourke, and the Cats with a chance here. It's probably going to be looked at as a must-convert opportunity with the team trailing 2-0 and time winding down on this game number 1. Brahmas up 2-0. Goals scored in the second and the third period by Spellacy and Kessel, respectively. Ripley gets the pass on the left wing side. Zimmerman defending him. Ripley puts it behind the goal. Poikel out, numbered 2-1. Zielinski finished him off. And the Brahmas clear it. Marabella from center. Dempsey out of his net. Swings it up to Burnett. Burnett's pass fluttering between a pair of Wildcats, Poikel and Ripley. Chopped down nicely there by Rosa, who centers. Ripley shoots it. Misfires. Goes wide of the right post. Ripley chopped it to Poikala. Burnett, right corner. Back to Ripley again, or rather Poikala. Poikala for Rosa. Fans on the shot. Kamer intercepting. He should be able to clear this, and he does. Boy, that's Nick Rosa is going to want to have that one back. Poikala set him up. Pretty good point-blank chance, and Rosa tried to just fire it so quickly that he misfired and just fanned on it. Carballo defended by Zimmerman. Donahue from the right point. Over to Orgel, who one-times it just wide. Karam's off the backboards. Marabella turns. Brahmas can't clear it. Tilley, Walker, Orgel. Walker, left circle. Cuts his way behind the net. Half a minute to go on the Wildcats power play. Can the Brahmas clear this? No. Orgel with a good keep from his glove down to the ice. A return pass flutters over his stick and it exits the zone. Time for one last rush on this Wildcats power play with 4:40 to go in period number 3. The Brahmas clear it down again. And Donahue's got to go get it. Pass was outside of the reach of C.J. Walker. Cats will reset, and that will do it for their power play. It's dropped to 0 for 4 on the night, and has not been a good night for the Wildcats with the extra man. Donahue's touch pass missed Carballo too far outside of his reach. Evano, Glover with O'Rourke and Biondo. Glover down the left side. He will pull the trigger. Try to snipe it high short side. Dempsey got his blocker shoulder on it. Puck has slid dangerously into the mid to high slot. Carballo recovered and swatted it past Loof, whose eyes had to have lit up after seeing that. Hanawal loses an edge in the Brahma zone. Skinner will fly it back in there. Prozic leaves it. Evano. Regula get hacked up towards the left point. Del Ponte. And up between his skates, Spellacy from the red line clears it in. This will be what the Brahmas do for the remainder of this game. 3.5 minutes remain. The Cats trailing by 2. Puck is stolen from Donahue. Adamo's got it. He drives, loses the puck. Dempsey's got it and takes a whistle. Got to wonder how much longer Dempsey's going to stay in this game. Cats have had very few offensive opportunities with the 5-on-5 or even the 5-on-4. They've got to just find a way to create absolute havoc around Max Prozic right now, who looks way too comfortable and has this entire game. And trailing by 2 against the stingiest defensive team in the NAHL for the last number of years. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We know Coach Nelson not a big fan of pulling the goaltender too early, but he might have to here. And Josh Nelson has used his timeout. So while he draws something up on the whiteboard, we're going to take one last break here from game number 1. You're listening to Wildcats Hockey on the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. Hope your Friday night is going well. 3.5 remain in period 3. It's the Brahmas leading the Wildcats 2-0. We'll be right back. So with the words of Josh Nelson ringing in their ears, we'll see what the Wildcats selected to go out on the ice for this crucial face-off have to offer. The puck is won by the Brahmas right off that draw in the right face-off circle to Dempsey's left. The shot was well off target. Burnett will have to go scoop it up in that far corner. Puts it back behind the goal for Kareem Del Ponte. Gives it on over to CJ Regula, rather Heiser, who missed Ryan Burnett with that long pass, diagonal pass between his stick and his skates. Rosa steals it, shovels a backhander on net. Getting a piece of it with his stick was Max Brodzik. Burnett down to the corner for Cabinia. Dempsey still in his net. Rosa checks Zimmerman. Del Ponte puts it down to the corner again. Cabinia is there. Kelly poking and prying and digging, trying to knock it away from Cabinia. The Brahmas roll it around out towards the near side corner. Stanley searching for it between his skates. Hunter Stanley pivots. Cabinia still pressuring, but Stanley chips it off the glass over a jumping Heiser. This should go far enough for icing, and it barely does. The Brahmas will not be allowed to change here. And Trent Williams will have some sorting out to do on the Brahmas bench. This would be an ideal time for Dan Wildfang to use his timeout. I'm not sure if he's going to. Only 2.5 minutes left, and the Wildcats still trail 2-0. And still, we see Dempsey in his net. Carballo will take this face-off. And countering him will be the Brahmas ace, Carson Kelly, who again gets the job done. Zimmerman. Wyatt Matthews off that turnover. Fired it on net from his backhand, and it's snagged by Brodzik. And boy, does he look good tonight. Perfect 22 of 22. The Boston University commit. Lots of star power both teams have in nets. Part of the reason we've seen such a low-scoring season, such a low-scoring tilt here tonight, 2-0. Brodzik committed to Boston University, Dempsey to Army, Calvaruso to Colorado College, Evan Moyes to Ohio State. Austin Kamer on the 3-on-2 with Glover, who returns it. On the right side, Kamer drives in and shoots. Stick save Dempsey. Rebound Kessel can't get a shot away. Kamer will, but he misfires. Into the left corner it goes. Poikala is there. Less than 2 minutes to go. The Cats trailing 2-0. Poikala is brought down by Austin Kamer. Gets it back into the left circle and fires one. High and wide off the netting and out of play. And I can only imagine the next time the Cats even cross the red line, I would think Dempsey would jolt his way to the Cats bench. Spellacy will take this face off against Nick Rosa to Dempsey's right, his blocker side. Burnett starts the rush out from the red line. He chips it in. Dempsey looking, not getting any signal from the coaches yet. Josh Nelson telling him to wait. Puck is in the right corner, the near corner with 1.5 minutes to go. And Rosa's pass into the middle was broken up. He throws it all the way through. Dempsey to the bench. Donahue with a shot. Deflected. Somehow that stayed out of the net. Rosa loses his stick. Biondo pinning him to the wall right now. And then Zimmerman just goes in, puts the Wildcats player in a headlock down there. The Cats wanting a penalty. There will be one called as Heiser wheels his way to the top. Carballo rather. Out of the right circle. Still with it on his stick. Fires one. Across. Here's a shot. Stopped by Brodzik. 1 minute and 3 seconds to go. There will be a penalty assessed to the Brahmas, and the Cats will get a 6-on-4 to try to tie this game, but they need to score twice in the next 1 minute and 3 seconds against the best defensive team in the league. That was Burnett, who was in that headlock John Zimmerman gave him. The most important penalty kill of the game so far for the Brahmas, which has been stellar, going 4 for 4 on the night. Zimmerman, 2 minutes for elbowing, I believe I heard. On the season, the Brahmas have only given up 135 goals. Aston gave up fewer with only 106, but again, there's the argument that it's a weaker division. Most important face-off of the game so far, won by the Wildcats. Donahue a drive off the one-timer, blocked. The puck's been cleared. Remember, now if the Cats are on the power play, the Brahmas can clear this puck all the way down without having to worry about icing. That is the plus. But the Cats have got to really push it here. They're down by 2 with just 45 seconds to go. Burnett deflects it off the glass behind the Brahmas net. Zielinski's got it in the near corner. Trying to work it out. Poikala from the circle. Put it across. Broken up by Kessel. Had Donahue, but he was in too deep. Had he stayed back a little bit, Poikala would have been able to feed it to him without the risk of it being intercepted. Orgel slams it off the right boards. Bounces its way over to Rosa. Puck's turned over, swatted down the ice, just wide, missing the empty net by inches. But the Cats will not be able to score 2 goals in the next 20 seconds. Orgel up to Carballo, in across the blue line right side. Pass well outside of the reach of everybody. Out to center, should be an empty net goal for Kamer. He's defended by Donahue. Kamer with a backhand shot, again missing the net. But it doesn't matter, the Brahmas are going to take game 1. Kelly puts home the empty net goal, and the Brahmas win 3-0. Game 1 belongs to the home team. And the Cats go down 1-0 in the South Division semis. Despite the disappointing outcome, folks, a lot of positives can come from this game. So many close calls for both teams. The scoreline probably makes it look a little bit more lopsided than it actually was. That last goal being an empty netter, obviously, but I think even 2-0 makes it seem more lopsided than it was. That should have been a 1-goal game. Should have been decided by a single goal, absolutely, the way that it was played. The Brahmas did pull away a little bit there towards the end of the second period. After that goal scored by Spellacy, they really started to crank up the gas. In the third period, they owned the first 10 minutes. Really not even a chance from the Wildcats. In the first half of the third period, they had a shot on goal or two, but no really scoring chances. The Brahmas did score early in the third. Penalty called against Wyatt Matthews came back to haunt the Wildcats. Peter Kessel off that pass given to him by Jaco Malisco in the deep slot. One-timer from the Brahmas' leading goal scorer. Pete Kessel had 27 in the regular season, and he showed you why. A beautiful snipe, averaging a goal every other game in the regular season. Sniped one. Jared Dempsey didn't even react to it. It happened so quickly. There's good puck movement there by Malisco. The goaltender Dempsey was screened, didn't even see the pass go to Kessel, and by the time he even thought to think that Kessel had it, it was already behind him and in the back of the net. That's the firepower that Kessel brings, and he burnt the Wildcats tonight. That goal scored by Burnett, that got waved off because the net came off. Obviously very unfortunate. The goal scored by Spellacy in the second period, also very unfortunate for the Wildcats. Not only was that the case, but a penalty that should have been called. Burnett had a breakaway, had his stick slashed clean out of his hands. No call. And the Brahmas went back down and scored off a fluky bounce. So things could have been very different today, obviously. That being said, there were some chances that the Brahmas had that the Cats did get a little bit lucky. But that's just that's the sport, right? That's the nature of this game, and especially in the postseason. Tonight was really proof incarnate that anything can happen in the playoffs, and the Cats gave the Brahmas all that they could handle. Again, a lot of good things to be taken from tonight. That was the best defensive game that they've played in a very long time, folks. I thought it was going to be closer than it was down the stretch. I did not expect this to turn into a 3-0 game for the Brahmas. Obviously, that last one being an empty netter. But it felt like a 1-goal game for really the vast majority of this contest tonight. Take a quick peek around the league and update you folks who have stuck with us throughout the broadcast on what's going on around the NAHL. Aston beat Wilkes-Barre, as was expected, 3-1 tonight at the Iceworks Skating Complex in Aston, Pennsylvania. Johnstown fell to the New Jersey Titans. That game just concluding moments ago. Janesville, the favorites to beat Cooley Region, with a 3-2 narrow victory tonight out in Janesville, Wisconsin. Minnesota trailing 2-1 to the Ice Dogs. Actually, that game's over, my apologies, in suburban St. Paul. The Ice Dogs, the 3-seed, beating the 2-seeded Minnesota Magicians 2-1. The Brookings Blizzard fell 6-3 to the Minnesota Wilderness, the Robertson Cup champions of 2014, with a commanding 6-3 victory over Brookings tonight. That was the highest scoring game one of the playoffs by far. Every other team scored 3 goals or less tonight, which that's the playoffs for you, folks. That's how it was everywhere. Minnesota, the only team to score more than thrice, and they scored 6 times in a 6-3 victory on home ice at the Northwoods Credit Union Arena in suburban Duluth, Minnesota. Corpus Christi led 2-0 at the end. I think Brad Power tacked on a late goal. He did. Not sure if that was an empty netter. I don't think so. 18:23 to go in the third. Brad Power made it 2-0, and the Ice Rays have beaten the Shreveport Mudbugs out of George's Pond, about 3.5 hours east of here. Aberdeen upsetting the Minot Minotauros, Scott Langer's team, one of the favorites as underdogs. There aren't a whole lot of teams picking against the 1 seeds right now, folks, but Minot, Aberdeen, perhaps one of them. Minot, a very strong team, obviously. Marty Murray's done such a tremendous job there. But Aberdeen, because of coaching and a number of other factors, are favorites to pull off an upset, and they did tonight. They lead 1-0 in the series, taking a road victory, stealing one up in North Dakota at the Misa Arena. Shout out to my buddy Ken Oda, the Minot Minotauros broadcaster, who's been with them for the last 8 seasons, does an outstanding job for Minot. 3-0 the final score here in Lone Star tonight. It was a tough game. The 3-0 score probably doesn't do the game justice, folks. A little bit misleading. I'll post the highlights tomorrow. For those of you who are tuned in on YouTube, thanks so much. You've been such troopers for sticking with us. But you'll see what happened, and we'll put my words to your eyes, I guess you could say, tomorrow with the highlight video. I'll come out sometime tomorrow afternoon before Game 2 starts. Again, Game 2 tomorrow night, same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, the scheduled puck drop here in Brahmaland. Thank you so much to all of our fans who decided to tune in tonight on your Friday night and enjoy some Wildcats hockey. In the playoffs, they dropped game number 1. Close call, but the Brahmas escaped with a 3-0 victory here at NYTEX Sports Centre. The Cats can split the series tomorrow night with a win and head back to Wichita Falls with home ice advantage should they split the series. If not, they might be in some trouble, falling down 2-0 against arguably the best team in the NAHL this season. They played them hard, they played them long, they played them tough, and they've got a lot to build off of after tonight's disappointing loss. We'll see what they bring tomorrow, but till then, for now, thanks so much for joining us, folks. Have a great rest of your Friday night, and we'll be back alongside tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. here from North Richland Hills. Till then, so long, everyone.